I'm going to say start streaming. We should be getting feedback here in just a second. Hello there, everybody. Retro Gaming Star 25. I know I said it in text or in chat, but I want to say in voice, thank you so very much for dropping by. Thank you very much for leaving a like as well. That's very kind of you. But I'm just appreciative that everybody was, or everyone who's here, who has been here, was willing to drop in and say hi and pay me a visit. Same to you, Josh X05. You stop in so many of my streams, and I want you to know that I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much for dropping in. I do want to give, I guess I should probably, I'm a little loud maybe. Try turning that down a little bit. There we go, so I'm not clipping. I want to give a couple of updates really quickly for anybody who does follow my channel or my content, as well as an apology. Firstly, I want to go ahead and apologize for what seems to be kind of haphazard, the haphazard put together of these streams, as well as what's been kind of a haphazard schedule and some level of absence in the recent weeks. I've had some events happen in personal life, as well as some different various things I'm working on in the public that'll hopefully come to fruition soon. And the combination of those have just gotten really, really busy. So I want to say that I apologize. I haven't really been out there and said hi and gotten to talk to a lot of you in a while. And I appreciate you for hopefully understanding and, for being kind about it. The second thing is also about the 100 subscriber giveaway. That's still going on. However, I apologize. I know I kind of left the carrot there and then dangling, and then hadn't had the opportunity to come up with the rules. And that's very much that's very much because of some of the life circumstances that came up. Yet again, it's not a downer. It was very important. Something very big happened, and I think we're getting it solved, or have gotten it solved. So that prize is still going to be up, and I am still working with some people to try and develop the rules and make sure that I kind of have a fair and random, to some extent, competition, but at the same time, it's a giveaway, so I don't want to take it so seriously that nobody ends up with it. So I'm excited about that. So those are basically the big ones, and then the last one is kind of how do I say this? Kind of an advanced potential apology. As you've noticed, my stream setup is different. If you happen to attend the last miscellaneous stream that I did, it was particularly Marvel orientated in terms of the content. A lot of Marvel fighters, X-Men fighters, just because there's so many games on so many consoles. I am not able to use my Streamlabs due to a bug, and the developers, last email I got, are working on it, but they have not yet gotten back to me with what else might need to be done or what they can do. And so because of that, I'm streaming on plain old OBS, and I hope it doesn't diminish the viewing experience. I've spent some time learning how to make this thing look really good. It's a great program. It's really just not knowing how to use it that makes it that kind of diminishes. I have the hiccups. Diminishes the impact. So the apology is strictly for my lack of knowledge on that if something comes across as not looking or sounding up to snuff. I hope, I'm going to double check on this really quickly. I hope if I've done this right, you guys should be seeing this though in 1080-60. You should be seeing a really nice night theme that has kind of a, night city neon. I love that kind of stuff. And hopefully you were hearing some really nice, cool music, and now you're hearing me nice, clear, and loud. And you're hearing me go for water. My apologies on that too, but my goodness, I just said a mouthful. So yeah, hopefully I'm coming through nice and loud. So let's see if this works. I'm going to try and transition things over as best as we can. Let's see here. Oops, I've had a painting fall on me. I didn't have it hung up, so. Okay, there we go. Can everybody hear me? Am I coming through nice and loud and clear? I hope so. There we go. All right, I'm going to go and switch over to the game. And boom, should have the game coming up now. Should be able to see it. And I'm doing a very different setup than I normally would do in terms of also the hardware. So yet again, if it's not coming through perfectly nice and clear and loud, please let me know. All right. But I'm actually pretty excited about getting to continue to play this game. For anybody who has not dropped in, I am a big stickler, and this is, ooh, I'm sorry about that. I had to move the microphone. This is probably not a tremendous amount of surprise, but I am a huge stickler for trying to keep my stuff organized so that it's easy for you guys to go and take a look at. But I also understand that there's some fun and random. So if you're looking for the other episodes of this playthrough, they're in the playlist marked Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. They also should be in the order that I premiered them in the Stream Archives playlist. And if you're looking for a bit of random, this will probably go into the Retro Games playlist as well. So, alright. When we last left off, we were on Dantooine. We had made our way through the council, and we had found or been awarded our lightsaber, which is green. And we came out and we fought with a Kotor named Juhani. I think we already did the fight. I'm pretty sure we did the fight. Did I save it ahead of time? Did we not do the fight yet? Is she there? Yeah, she's there. That's not right. Hold on, let's take a look. No, not saved. Load, please. Here we go. Sorry about that. Loaded the wrong save game. But we had the lady that you saw there. Basically had. I should probably do this so I can hear it too, huh? There we go. Now I can hear. I couldn't hear the game. I have everything running through this mixing board, and sometimes I just don't have the pass-through on the channel. Anyway, so we came into the Crystal Caves. Now, the Crystal Caves are super cool. It's a small little aside, but if you are at all a fan of Star Wars, and you're at all a fan of having your favorite lightsaber color, this is the best place to start. I didn't know some of this until but firstly, you have a bunch of these crystal formations, and you can just use those. Where'd it go? Once you use them, you pick up a lightsaber crystal. I think there are a couple. This one. This one. This one. And you can take a guess. I can't necessarily say that it's absolutely perfect, but you can take a guess at the general colors of crystals you're going to get from it. Are we seeing any more crystal formations? We're not? Alright, so the other thing I didn't realize you could do if you already have this is you can... Oops. Get out of the way, Candace. Did I get these remains? I did. Okay. So you can see these... there's a little... Oh, these are eggs. These little Kinrath eggs, you can't actually use them. It just says they could easily be destroyed, snuffing out the innocent life within. If you watch the last ones, these are big venomous spiders, so I'm perfectly okay with that. And they take one bash, and inside there isn't really life. It's mostly lightsaber crystals, yet again, so... You don't get any dark side points for doing it, even though it makes it seem like that. Some of these eggs, I don't believe these ones in the middle have any. Oh, they do. So it may just legitimately be random. Okay. There we go. Almost all of the eggs that are next to the crystal formations, though, I think have at least one lightsaber crystal in them. There was a crystal formation hiding around the side there. But yeah, you're right. So this is actually pretty handy. And the reason that this is also handy is because you're going to have other people that are going to have lightsabers. And if you decide you want to customize them, or you decide you want to build additional lightsabers, it's really nice to have a jump start on some of these crystals because some of them are not just for color. Some of these are actually for function as well. I'll get to show some of those too. I think we got all the ones we can break out. Let me make sure. Yep, I think so. Yet again, also just a side note, if you guys are able to hear me nice and loud and clear, if you're not, please let me know and I'll make adjustments. On my side of things, it looks like I'm coming through decently clear, so I hope that's the case. Alright, so. Okay, so now if we take a look at our inventory, let me take a look at it. Show new items, there we go. Oh, it's all going to be new because I haven't, son of a gun. That's okay. It's all going to be new because I haven't looked through them in this menu. That's okay. We'll see it when we go back to, we'll see it when we go back to the camp. So anyway, we're going to go back to The Academy, I don't think there's really much else we can do. I mean, there's a Mandalorian boss fight we can absolutely do, but I think we're probably going to run into that any which way. And we may not. That's okay, too. I also want to make note, I've made note in previous ones, if you are interested in playing this game, and you're also interested or have been interested or have been watching me play this game, whichever way it goes, this game is pretty fantastic, but whatever the playthrough that I'm doing is not the exact same as the playthrough that you'll do, because there are different, and I've made note of this, there are very different, there are different interactions between characters depending on whether you're a light sider or a dark sider, male or a female. There are different interactions, there are different relationships that can be built. The characters that you take with you on certain planets and how close you've gotten with those characters will change the events of everything. Of course, there are different endings for light side, dark side, so there's actually quite a lot. Candace, you leave me alone. There's actually quite a lot that even, and there are tons and tons of side quests. So if you're interested in playing this game and you're watching me at the same time, you know, you're obviously welcome not to watch if you don't want anything spoiled. I don't want there to be any sort of spoiler here. There is one big reveal in this game, if you've not already played it, that will get spoiled if you continue to watch the playthrough, although we're quite a ways away from that. But if you're interested in going and playing the game for yourself and having fun and kind of experiencing it, this one playthrough just cannot. It's not big enough. It won't be long enough, and I'm not going to focus on going and doing every little side quest. I just can't encapsulate everything. Okay, so this Belaya and Juhani are friends. There is something I'll try not to spoil a lot of this too. I'll try to say something, but I will let you know that you did have the option to kill Juhani. We are Darksider, that'd be in line with it, but I do like having extra. I like having all the members of the party. Belaya and Juhani are friends, so I will let you know something different does happen if I talk to Belaya right now versus if I had killed Juhani. I won't explain what that is, though, because there's some really cool stuff. Where am I going? I need to go see the councils, what needs to happen. Wait, who else is following me? Oh, it's just... Is that you still, Belaya? Nah, it's just a random Jedi. Okay. Ooh, that also brings up to another game that I really like. I haven't played it in forever, but I'd love to play it for the channel. I think I may have had it. I don't think I put an episode of it up, which is good. Was Jade Empire, so I may do that on the channel at some point. Jade Empire also was made by BioWare. Phenomenal game. I don't remember if it was... I don't think it was a LucasArts backed thing, but it was definitely made by BioWare. Super fun, in the same vein as KOTOR, but it's a martial arts game instead. At some point I might do that. I really enjoy that game. Okay. Actually, you know, let's go to the... I'm going to go to the bench really quickly, and we'll take a look at our lightsaber crystals. And see what we've done here. And so if we go over here to these side, these are your power crystals. And we've picked up, it looks like only 3. Rubat and Bondar. +1 to damage, +1 to attack. So this is probably a good thing to have one of each. You can't have 2 of the same crystal anyway. Yugoslav Video Game Nerd says Retro Gaming Star Retro Room Josh. Hey, Yugoslav. I want to say thank you so much for stopping in. I'll probably do this through the playthrough, but I want to apologize that I haven't been very active on both my channel and within the community, and that's not me just trying to recluse, so my apologies if you haven't seen or heard from me in a bit. I had a little bit of a kind of last stream that I was able to squeeze in, but I know I've been a little quiet, so my apologies. I'm trying to get back in the roll of it. Just had something big happen, so... But I'm... oh, thank you. I'm doing pretty well, though. I think, like I said, I think we got everything figured out. I had something really big come up in life, in personal life, and so, but we got it all taken care of. I think I'll be able to do something a little bit more, hopefully a little bit more regularly, and if nothing else, hopefully a little bit more scheduled. I try to do it once a week, any which way. Oh, I guess I should say, for anybody who is a fan of Shuffle Sesh on the other channel, more of that's coming, but I'm working on putting together a compilation video of fictitious characters doing CGI or cartoon, depending on where the fictitious character comes from. Take it easy and you'll be fine. That's good advice, and I appreciate it. I'll definitely do that. Thank you so much. I'm putting together a compilation of videos of fictitious characters doing fictitious moves. And the objective in that is to show if those moves can or can't be done, or what the closest thing to the real life version of that would be. So that's coming. It's just taking extra time because it's a little bit more difficult to splice it all together. And so anyway, we got green crystal, blue, yellow, and red. Son of a gun, we didn't get the color I wanted. Well, that's okay. We'll stay green right now. Do we have anything else we can upgrade? We can put that in there. That one's perfectly made. And we could probably use some stuff to well, no, his is done. Aha, but we can put something in the Ordo Blaster there. Zolbar's Bowcaster gets no love, because I don't usually use Zolbar. Alright, don't twirl that around like we did anything special. Okay. I'm so upset at my character. We are, for anybody also who's just jumping in on this episode, we are doing the dark side playthrough, so my character is absolutely being the most garbage person he can be. Please note, I hope that this is in no way a reflection of my actual self, as I would not make a lot of these choices. But it was voted that the dark side's the way we went, so. Let me talk to little Vandar here.
It is good to see Mwhahaha has returned to the way of the light. You are to be commended for your role in this. Your actions give us great hope for the future. Go to Master Jar.
Okay, we're gonna go to Jar then. So we know that their that specific species, we don't know what that species is still called, even though we've had more beings from it pop up.
You have done well, my people.
From the child in Mandalorian. I'm not going to say the name or any of that extra stuff to spoil it, but of course we have Yaddle from Episode 1. We have Evan Peel from Clone Wars and Episode 1 as well. We've got Yoda, and then we had Vandar Tok'er, which I believe is now canon, but I'm not sure.
Yet she struck her master in anger. Mwhahaha has been redeemed. Congratulations, apprentice. Or should I say, congratulations, Padawan. You have proven yourself worthy of joining the Jedi.
Alright, perfect. So one thing I get... whoops, I didn't need that for that. Son of a gun. One of the things I needed, that I got with that was the Jedi robe. Which... Let's take a look at this really quick. Force on the move, however, some may find it constricting. So the tricky piece, and one of the things I did do in this to add detail, is some of these armors... I'm going to go and put the Jedi robe on, but some of these armors actually are prohibit some of the abilities that I'll be using. I'm going to go and wear the Jedi robe for now. Which does not protect me very well. But I have much more mobility, so the odds of me dodging are better. Video Games for Fun says, morning, I almost worried I missed another stream now, because I just woke up and missed someone's stream in the UK. Oh no. No worries. And I thank you so much for stopping in, by the way, Vidi. Good morning. I've got to get used to the times difference between you and myself. I think I have most everybody else well, and I say most, I shouldn't say that. That's not fair. I have a lot of other ones kind of figured out, but I can never keep yours straight. Over here, it's about 6:38 p.m., 1838 if you're a military 24-hour clock kind of person. So nice and early evening. Very nice day, though. And I hope you're having a great day. I know you just got up, but or it's just morning for you, but I hope you're having a wonderful start of the day. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give him the light battle armor I was just wearing. So is everyone else is streaming? LOL. Some people think in my evening I have more of the day left rather than my bedtime. I understand. And just as a side note too, I opted to stream kind of on a whim. I've had kind of a rough run of being able to do stuff and in terms of time, and so I had some availability and it just popped up. And my wife's out with a friend right now, so I thought, well, hey, I'll come and stream and spend some time with you guys if that's okay. And you guys have been super gracious and kind and come and spent time with me. So thank you so much. All right, so bonus feat improved power blast, which I think he already gets, but I'm gonna give it to him just in case he doesn't. We'll give him a couple shields, and it's already pretty strong. I don't think he needs it. The dexterity he might need. What do I have on? What gloves am I wearing? I'll do those. give Karth those. And I'll give him that. That's a really powerful thing. And then what do I have? Then I can't be critically hit. I can't be poisoned. So there's a belt around here somewhere. Not here in this, but I also intend to end my streaming break this Thursday on Twitch with Uncharted 2. Well, fantastic. Hopefully, if everything goes well, I should hopefully get a notification. But Vidi, if you have, if you don't mind, and I'm certainly happy to catch you, as I would hope anyone else in here would be. If I'm not already, please feel free to provide me a link to your Twitch channel so that I can make sure that I'm following you and get that notification. I'm excited to be able to follow a stream of yours. I think that would be fantastic. I don't think I've really gotten to follow a stream of yours. I've gotten to watch your videos, I think. I have a Twitch account. I don't stream to Twitch. It's just I have the option to multi-stream. I just have never used it. I had it when I had Streamlabs. Streamlabs isn't really working anymore. I kind of made an announcement that I'm working with the devs and they're working on why mine keeps crashing. So I'm not entirely. They're not sure, and I'm not sure at all why that's the case. So. Real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and ask it just if there is everything sounding okay. Does everything sound pretty balanced? Can you hear the game okay? Can you hear me okay? And am I somewhat a little louder than the game? If you don't mind, just because I can never hear it properly.
The Force is guiding you through the secrets. Be sure to bring Bastila.
Okay, so we have to take Bastila. I usually take Karth. And I don't think I'm gonna change that anytime.
I demand
that actually sounds good balancing. Fantastic. Thank you.
The council will look into this matter, Mr.
Mistake?
There are other possible...
Ah, you Jedi are...
As dangerous as the threat from Darth Malak and the Sith may be, should you have time, Padawan. Your study and training are important, of course.
It isn't a real...
Not to mention that I wouldn't mind getting out of this enclave for a bit.
Okay, Karth, that's it. Okay, so, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, just because... let's see, Vidi says, that makes sense. On recent streams, people have been having trouble with GPU Streamlabs. Someone even recommended I use an AverMedia instead of an Elgato. Technology is great as long as it works. That's absolutely true. I do have an AverMedia card. I'm not using it, though, just because it is a decent bit of complicated. I don't know what the best way to say it. It's a decent bit complicated. Maybe that's right. Though I do feel like I should be able to... I feel like that there is a way I should be using it, and I'm going to do some testing with it later today, hopefully. I use an HDMI, a composite to HDMI upscaler. I have the HD, the AverMedia, it's the HD Cap 2 or something like that. I bought it years ago, but it's a beautiful little box and all self-contained. And if I can help it, I think it might do a better job of maintaining the aspect ratio of my retro games consoles rather than the upscaler, which tries to stretch my 4:3 into 16:9. So, in this case, this is being played on an Xbox One, which does maintain the original aspect ratio, and then of course I just crop off the black envelope sides for your viewing pleasure, and have a scene specifically built in OBS for the retro games, and then I have the 16:9 aspect ratio scene built for the AGT games. I am becoming much more familiar with OBS, though, and the more familiar I'm becoming with it, the more I'm liking it. It's not my favorite, but I really like it. Retro Gaming Star 25 says, "Hey, Retro Room, I'm back. I just did a video not too long ago about the behind-the-scenes room tour. I saw it. I left you a thumbs up on that, in fact. I'm pretty sure if I didn't... I know I saw it, and I'm pretty sure I left a like. But if I didn't leave a like, I'm going to go back and leave a like. I did take a look at that. And it's actually that's a really nice tour. I know somebody... I was... gonna make a comment on it. Somebody actually kind of beat me to the comment, but they had asked what your PC specs were, and I was a little bit curious on that myself. It was a very neat little tower, and so it was kind of nice. Video Games for Sun says, I'll be doing more research on the AverMedia. I've not really heard of it until the last lot of hours. Yeah, AverMedia is a really good. So I can't speak it to every product they've had, but I've had 2 of their HD caps, and I better go the right way. and they've both been great, but they don't connect to a PC is the thing. What generally will happen is they're self-contained. They'll typically either record to a USB drive, flash drive, or a hard drive. They do have pass-through devices out there, but I'm not uber familiar with them. And so what you typically have to have is some sort of HDMI/DVI input on the tower, which a lot of towers these days just don't have unless you have like an HD60 Pro. I'm sorry, I'm talking. I'm not paying attention to which direction I'm going to go, so I'm going to focus on that for just a second, then I'll get right back into the chat. My apologies. I should be going outside, which should be over here. My goodness. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, I saw that, and I really like that. So just for anybody else who is in the chat and who knows or is interested, let's see here. Let me do something really quick, if I can. Boop. There we go. Alright, I did just make sure, Retro Gaming Star, that I had liked the video. Or I made sure you had a like on the video, because yeah, I definitely got I took a look at that, and I thought it was a really awesome idea. I did put a poll out on Twitter 2 weeks ago, I think it was. It's may have been a little longer than that, asking if people were interested in having something similar happen for the Retro Room. The Retro Room is actually, excuse me, the Retro Room is actually a it's an actual room. It's an actual retro room that I built years ago, and I've only given glimpses of it on the other channel, ironically. And so I was curious as to if people would like to kind of have a tour of what it is, as well as would like to know what kind of equipment I use, what my settings look like, my setup looks like, and all that. And I got an overwhelming yes. I think only one person out of it, if I did the math right. Only one person wasn't really interested, and of course, if that person's not interested, that's okay. So I am working on making a video.
My droid is still missing. He's out there still? I must find him.
There we go. I just did a bad thing. I killed the droid, but I told her he's still out there, so she'll search.
Why did you do that? Sometimes I just can't understand.
It troubles me to see you.
Alright, and of course, me playing as a Darksider in this case, I kind of take that as a badge of honor. I know that's bad. I know who you are. Real quick, I want to see your weapons, please. There we go. I think you have cool stuff. Cassis Fett's battle armor for 15,000 credits, and it gives it plus 10. Senegar warsuit, bronze and light armor. It's really cool to own a thing from Cassis Fett, but I mean, here's the thing: you're gonna get armor that's way cheaper than 15,000, and is somewhat more, yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna do that yet. Well, I can't afford it, firstly. But yeah, anyway, so I did put a poll out there and ask if people wanted to see my setup and do that. So I'm filming the video. It's going to be a decently long video. I'm going to put timestamps in it. So if you happen to be one of the people that did vote and you were interested, but you were, it wasn't as binarily yes and no as that. You were more interested in maybe learning about a specific thing I use or a specific setting. I'm going to divide it up into timestamps that you can click on. So audio, video, setup, and all that. It's actually a really exciting project to make a making of. I think that's really cool. So, alright, I'm doing really good at not dying, but you guys are frustrating. So yeah, that's my biggest project right now. I'm working on. I'm working on a couple of other projects that I'm working on a couple other projects that are coming up. I don't know if I'm supposed to announce it or not. I don't guess I don't think it's a bad thing for me to announce it. I just can't announce the win because I don't know yet. But I think a lot of you guys were aware, and maybe even in attendance to... Hold on. They're going to run straight for that other one over there, aren't they? Don't... Ah, they didn't. Okay, that's a first. Some of you guys might have actually been in attendance of the speed race, quote-unquote speed race. And I'm putting it in quotations, not because the runners weren't great, but more because the... there we go. More because I think that they kind of put it in quotations themselves. They're, you know, speed runs. Running Retro and the Thumb Brothers, they did one, I think it was this, not this previous weekend, but the weekend prior. Hosted by E.C. Myers Vids, who did a phenomenal job, though he kind of had some tech issues. He did a wonderful job of making sure everybody was taken care of and was talking to everybody. And I think that that community kind of wanted to have a rotating host, so they've asked me to do it, and I've said I just so happen to be able to resolve my other issues. Let's see. Really quick. Video Games for Stunts, by the way. Also, with the audio you sent me for the showcase, I wasn't sure if I should do the audio parameters myself, which I'm actually fine with, having done some showcase post-productions. Should do the audio parameters. I'm sorry, video. When you say audio parameters, what specifically are you referring to in that? That's my misunderstanding, I'm sure. Omega Ace Gaming says, "Hi guys, hey Omega Ace, how you doing today? I hope you're doing wonderfully. I did get to, I assume you're doing somewhat better now. I did get to watch your, I had to lurk a little bit, but I did get to watch your stream, and that was a pretty fun. I actually want to play that game at some point. That looks like that'd be a lot of pretty fun. If I should do the audio parameters myself, which I'm actually fine with. Oh, okay. Audio such as denoising, EQ, compression. I did it. I should have made a mark of it. If you have a format that you prefer, you're welcome to do it. Of course, if you have a format that you prefer, I certainly would. I don't want to put more work on you. So a lot of those had been denoised, but not all of them had been. I did not do EQ and compression on them just because a lot of people like dry signals, but the denoising thing is. So just let me know what your if you have a specific, and I can batch do all of that if I need to. I'm certainly happy to do it. Oh, by the way, I did a live stream with a special guest, and we have lots of fun too. Good, fantastic. I've gotten to see a couple of your streams with guests, and that's a lot of fun. So that's great. Omega says, if you know you're going, Saint Swords can definitely be fun. Yeah, it had a look to me of Castle of Dragon for the NES, with obviously better graphics, right? Because it's for the Sega, but it kind of had that feel of Castle of Dragon. I actually like Castle of Dragon, and then it's got this kind of pseudo Castlevania feel. It's not as good as Castlevania, but yeah. Yep, the audio editing for me. Not to worry, just the transcripts when you've got the time. Oh yeah, I actually should send those your way fairly shortly. Sorry about that. Zombie JLT says, note to self, don't leave a phone on the other side of boxes. LOL. Hey, Meat Mag, I mean Retro Room. I appreciate that, Zombie HKLT. I'm sorry, Zombie JLT1. The goblins in Saint Sword are so annoying. I saw those. It almost felt like Empire, SNES Empire. Those beasts that throw you back and forth between each other. I could see that, and I understand completely why you were getting frustrated. But it looked like a lot of fun. But I know I'm so sorry for the frustration. I get to see it caused you. What language are you trying to say? That's Tuscan Raider. Still don't.
I think the droid can probably.
And then that's Selkath, which I do. Oh, this is my favorite game. Star Wars is my absolute favorite universe. I'm a big old nerd when it comes to that, so I like to think I can at least hang with the best of them. But this game is my favorite game of all time. So, if anybody, like, if you come up and you say, Grant, I'm going through playing this quickly and not doing everything, but if you happen to like have secrets and tips and tricks and all that, I'm happy to hear them. That's super cool. Let's see. Honestly, many aspects of the game were actually fun. I'm definitely going to give it a try. I won't play it live. I don't want to come back on your coattails like that, but I definitely will play it in my private time. I'll go pick up a copy or order a copy and play it in my private time. I think that'll be great. I don't actually have a copy, but I'm going to get one. That's great.
It must be referring to Red.
Okay. I know who you are. Oh, man. You know what? Oh, sheesh. Okay. Well, I made a mistake. I made a bad mistake. Karth, you really that hurt back there, bud?
The droid is obviously...
Our
vision.
It does
Maybe
not.
the
It
droid
has to do... I know
more...
what it has to do with.
10 revolutions would take more than 20,000 years. If this is true, then this droid is nearly 5...
This is a 20,000-year-old droid. This part is a little tricky, and I don't know why I did... I knew what I was doing. Okay. None of those 3 statements were accurate, so I just had to... Can I just...
The droid must be talking...
Okay, so this is the... Okay, I know, droid. I don't want to talk to you about it. I just want to do it. Alright, so this is the morbid part of Finding Nemo. There he is. But I do get to wear a cool... Does anyone have stealth? Did I mess up? Ha 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 ha. Can I just leave and go... Dang it. Okay, let's see if I can do that, but I don't think I can switch party out there. If I have somebody that's really good with stealth, I can actually sneak by and... Let me do it. See if I can do it. Cool. I'm going to see if I can switch. If I have somebody that's really good at stealth, I can actually sneak by and avoid some really tough fights. Let's see. Going to take next week off from social media, I think. Well, it's been ages since I've been off the radar. That's fair. That's fair. So, social media can be a real... It can be a real burnout. It can be really difficult. And it's not... People are great. But sometimes it's very different. It's very different. And for me, I'm not going to speak for everybody else. I can't. It's very difficult to, firstly, for me, be always in the right mindset to take every comment written in the most positive fashion, and I realize that that's a failing of my own. And then secondly, sometimes there are people out there that they're not having the best day, and it's really easy to, to extrapolate that from them not having a bad. It just gets rough. So I can absolutely respect that. Viddy says, I guess people have memorized dialogue paths like this for speed runs. Well, yeah, I'd say that. I haven't done it for speed runs. Speed run of this game is actually still a pretty... you watch a speed run of Super Mario and it's a 5-minute deal. This is a speed run of this game is still about an hour 40, I think. I've played this game for near 20 years, I guess it's been. Pretty close. This game came out in 02, 03, something like that, so it's been almost 20 years, and I've been playing it ever since launch day. So it's just that. So I'm not meaning to skip it, I just figured this is such a dialogue-heavy game, maybe I can give you guys a synopsis of it and kind of just play it through, if that's all right. So, that's very true. Thanks, man. Oh, yeah, no, I understand. And, it may not be worthwhile. If you need anything, though, in that interim, definitely feel free to reach out. But, I understand you got to take care of yourself, and I get it. I get it. Social media is great and not great in equal measure. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Okay, so I'm going to... Let's see if I can hide. I'm going to try and solo mode myself here. This is a...
I'm here.
This is kind of a cheaty thing, but I'm going to try and do it.
Huh?
And then I'm going to level her up. And I'm going to put it all in her stealth. Well, that's 1 point. What do you guys recommend? That? Okay. I have a point not spent. Is that a cross class? And... Well, I can't spend the point because they're all cross class skills, so I take 2 points. Okay. Let's give her more stealth. Okay, and the only reason I'm going through and kind of going with the recommended is I want to make sure she's getting... All of the points are going into at least one point is going in as, or the maximum amount of points is going into stealth. So she can have whatever else she wants. I'm not going to use her particularly. She's a great stealth character. She's just not a great fighting character. So let's see. Thanks, bud. Of course. I mean, like I said, I get it. I know the general story of Kotor, so I don't mind skipping the dialogue skipping, though it can be almost hard to stream an RPG for a reason if you want to see people see the story of this game as well. Yeah, so I put it out there that I think I put it out there for a vote as to whether or not people would want to watch the game, and then basically I kind of was saying I would do the synopsis because there's a lot of vestigial information in here that's really padded to make it a little bit more. But it's my favorite game, so it's me getting to share the game, but also try to make it be in such a format that isn't hopefully the most ridiculously unbearable to watch. And if it is, then please let me know, and I'll switch to something else and play this in my free time. But this is just one of my favorite games, and I like to share it. I think mental health is especially important in regards to social media. People I've spoken with have talked to people. Sometimes it doesn't go well. I think if there are people you enjoy talking to online, it's better to take breaks rather than to abandon it altogether. Yeah, I mean, I do definitely think it's I'm sure you are saying that in this case, but I do think it's on a case-to-case basis. I really didn't do social media until pretty well the end of 2020. I'm just not a social media guy, or wasn't, I guess. And then I met friends on here, and I definitely wouldn't want to separate my ability to speak with them with making a mutual exclusivity of my mental health. But at this point, I don't think that those two things are contingent, but I absolutely understand where for some people it certainly is. So I get that. I have to remember how to do that. I believe it is talk, data pad into the receptacle, talk, there we go. I didn't go into social media until 2010. People had been for years by then. It was first FB, which I'm barely on anymore. Yeah, I do Twitter on occasion, and that's pretty well it. And I stay away from anything even if it's a person that I like. If it's anything that I feel like could go any sort of bad, cause them any additional issue, cause me issue with them, I just don't comment. It's not worth it. I have opinions, and if people want to talk to me about those opinions, I'm happy to speak with them on a voice-to-voice basis so that I can both relay the tone of that opinion as well as answer the subtle questions that will inevitably not be answered if I typed it out there and just left that statement as it was, or as it were. Death-giving seed worlds would be a desert, volcanic, and barren. Okay, so if the stealth is high enough, the thing is, these guardian droids are actually super tough, and they both have a bunch of really annoying tools. One is a flamethrower, another one's like a carbonite freezer, and they're actually pretty tough, even for the full team. So having someone that can actually have a high enough stealth level to sneak past them is super handy, because once you're about to this middle room, the droids really, as far as I know, they don't really follow you. So, yes, tone is important outside of text. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's a lot of people too, and I've realized this not just with people far away, and this is just not, I'm making a comment that could absolutely not encapsulate everyone. Ooh. Okay. Thank goodness. That's a tight little radius right there that I did not want to be inside of. Same situation. Talk to it. Put the data pad in. Talk. And you have to know how to do that. If you push the buttons, it doesn't do anything. What you find out is it actually is reading your language. It's understanding that you speak basic, or in our case, English, and it's saying, okay, that's the language I'm going to display to you. If I'd spoken, Twi'lek or any of these other Huttese or any of these other languages, it likely would have displayed in those. Life-giving would be oceanic, grassland, and arboreal. There we go. But what I was getting at is a lot of people seem to have shied away from voice. It's interesting. And I'm very possibly wrong about this, but it has been my experience with people that I have direct involvement with, I should say. more direct involvement with, more frequent direct involvement, is people seem to be very shy about having two-way voice dialogue nowadays. And part of that could be the pandemic, face-to-face stuff, and people being tired of Zoom. But I think it's really, really difficult to, if you don't have tone, I think it's really, really difficult to glean what somebody's actually trying to convey. So, but some people aren't comfortable with it, and that's okay too. All right, come on, guys. Perfect. No, I don't want to turn that on. I want to switch gears. Yes. There we go. So that's my take on that. Yet again, I'm no expert, so that's just my opinion. If anyone disagrees with it, that's perfectly okay too. Yeah, some people shy away from mics and cameras. Yeah, it will, and I understand that to a degree. To me, it's a little bit sad, and I'm not speaking on any specific topic. I love microphones. I'm not a big fan of cameras, and I should be clear. I don't like cameras for this channel, and I think I've talked. I told you about this, but for anybody else who I haven't necessarily told about it, I don't like the idea of showing my face on this channel, because the Retro Room isn't about me. It's not about a skill that I do or anything I know. It's just about an environment, a room, a retro room, where we come and we play games and we talk and we have fun. So that's why I don't like the face. I don't like to have that association. It's not me. This is a channel I made for us, and us can be whoever wants to come in. And by the way, I'm super appreciative for everybody who has come in. Omega, Vidi, Gaming Star, Josh X05 popped in, Zombie, you know, all of you. Thank you so very much for popping in, saying hi, and for those that are still there, obviously, thank you for sticking with me for a bit here.
I don't know.
But I like the idea. That's why I don't show my face in this case. But I definitely want the voice to be out there, because I want to convey tone. I want tonality to be a big thing. And I think I think it's really nice that people have an understanding. It's kind of like the temperature of a room. You walk in and you don't necessarily see everything immediately as the first leading, but you notice if it's a little hot or a little cold, and you're like, I'm a little uncomfortable. It's too hot in there. It's too cold in there. That's what I want my voice to be, is to, hey, let me adapt this. Let me make this room comfortable, and then you come in if you want to and be a part of us. And if you don't, that's okay too. I just appreciate people for checking it out. Vidi says, that's true. That person in the UK I mentioned and I are preparing an Animal Crossing video. She's heard my voice. I've watched her stuff numerous times, but our exchanging voices will be different, just because of tone and connecting more in a way which is nervous and exciting. That is cool. That's a super cool. That's that right there is the essence of human communication and transaction, and it's awesome. It's an experience that, because of last year, yet again, nobody's fault. But because of last year, I think a lot of us have lost that excitement and replaced it with fear. Because that's kind of what we were all taught, is, hey, you got to stay 6 feet apart and everything's got to be... And I respect that. We definitely want to stay safe. But I think that it's kind of changed how we look at interaction, is all I'm trying to say. I've started filming myself more on camera and in preparation for hosting the showcase. Yeah, I saw you do the face reveal and such on camera. Which was pretty awesome, actually. Although I don't feel like I wasn't super surprised, because you have your me, and the me was pretty spot on. So that's not, so it was I don't know how to say it. Boy, this Horncath hound, he is just going for this other one, isn't he? But anyway, it was really cool getting to see that. And yet again, by the way, I want to make sure that I'm clear. I don't have any issue with people who do prefer to use cameras. This is kind of the art. It's kind of the artsy, and it's probably ridiculous to some people, and that's okay. But it's just kind of the artsy side of my. It's just kind of the artsy side of my. The idea. The idea was my other channel. I'm not trying to plug in this case. My other channel is about a guy who has a skill. It's about a man who's practiced hours and hours to do something cool, and he wants to share and perform and get people to smile. This channel is about creating a place that people want to come and visit and talk, and it's no more about me than it is about any other person. And that's what I really like about it. This channel is as much you guys, and in fact, in a lot of cases, more you guys than it is me. So. Oh, thanks. I guess the me is spot on minus the hair. Probably the me's hair is a little longer. Is longer. LOL. Yeah, a bit longer, but no worries. No worries. Omega, if that link goes to where I think it does, I'm going to say thank you very much. I wasn't trying to plug, but at the same time, I definitely appreciate promotion. I do want to repeat for anybody who is interested, since that's there, and I think that's what that is. If I'm wrong on that, that's okay too. Okay, sorry, I got a message that was different. Oh, AR Video Games pops in too. Hey, AR. Ash, how you doing, bud? I hope you are doing famously. I know for you it's, oh, sheesh, it's about 1 in the morning. It's about almost 1:15, isn't it? But my goodness. I really appreciate you for stopping in and saying hi here, though. I know you and I have gotten to kind of interact a bit behind the scenes, which I think is cool. If that's all right for me to... I should have asked if I could have divulged that first. I think that's okay. We just talk on Twitter, but at the same time, it's nice. We've gotten to talk. You're good. Good. I'm glad to hear. Glad to hear that. Excuse me. What was I saying? I was saying something that was I thought was really important, and then I guess I forgot it. May not have been that important. Oh, it was about the Mechanos Cards channel. I was going to recap for anybody who has been watching that and is interested in that and is looking to see when the next... I forgot to move Shuffle Session over the previous one. Uh-oh, train of thought. I know, mine derails so much more frequently than I wish. For anybody who was interested, some people may not be, and that's okay. But if you were one of those who were interested and did show up to my Shuffle Sesh, I'm going to be moving. I forgot. I've been streaming on this.
This news of
go ahead and tell. Lying, by the way, doesn't do any good. They know.
And we will summon you.
But anyway, so I'm compiling a video, putting together a video compilation of fictitious card moves. Typically, they're going to be moves that are done in a cartoon or a CGI version. I'm putting those together, showing you what the original looks like, and then showing you what the real-life version of that is or would be.
I've consulted our vast archives in an effort to discover the nature of this Starforge, but all my efforts have been in vain.
Still show up.
Still the
It's
council
1:12 over here. Go to bed.
Starforge must be found.
Train of thought. I love the little train too. Oh, real quick for anybody who hasn't played this game and is looking for the quick cap on this, they've sent me out to those ruins, and I basically did all that stuff with the droid because I found those 3 stone arms, and those are actually an ancient star map. And that ancient star map tells me where where Revan and Malik, the Dark Lords, the Darth Vaders of this time,
The Jedi number
had gone. It tells me of the possible planets that they visited, perhaps all of those planets.
Secrecy is.
And so now that I'm taking that information back to the council, excuse me, the council is telling me that I should
Of course,
basically go to all of those planets and visit. So you're going to get to see some of my favorite stuff here in just a minute.
You can leave whenever you wish. The lure of the
fate of the galaxy. May the Force be with you.
All right, so we're going to embark, and we have a choice to go to a couple of different planets. I'm going to hop on the ship really quickly, and then I'm going to take a quick break if I can, just a 5-minute break, or maybe not even quite 5 minutes, just to take care of something, and then I'll be right back if that's okay with everybody. Okay, so this guy right here, by the way, is going to tell me about a Torrenta tech. If you guys are Star Wars savvy, you probably know about the Rancor from Episode 6, that big character that Jabba had under his palace that Luke gets thrown to. Torrenta tech is a little bit smaller than a Rancor, but they are not... let me go ahead and skip. They're not sensitive to the Force. A Rancor, if you play games like The Force Unleashed, you can shock it with lightning, you can hit it with a lightsaber, all these. Torrenta tech, they're super not Force sensitive. Okay. And they're super resilient to lightsaber. So he's just warning me about that. And if anyone is familiar with theater, that is a Chekhov's gun. I believe the theory of a Chekhov's gun, for anybody who is unfamiliar with it, is basically a theater proposition which dictates that if there's a gun that's on the table, seen as on the table, or pointed out as on the table in Act 1, as significant in any shape, form, or fashion, it is inevitable that that gun must be used in Act or by Act 3. Just a fancy way of saying if somebody mentions it early, you're going to definitely see it later. Most of you guys are probably familiar with that, so I don't mean to over-explain if I am. AR says, I need to get back to Jedi Fallen Order. It's just received a PS5 upgrade too. I want to replay that game so bad. I just need to do it. I've played it through twice so far, and I really love it. Omega says, my fiance wants me to drive her to go grab some Popeye's chicken. I will come back if you're live later. Oh yeah, no worries. I don't know that it means anything, but if she knows about me, please let her know. I hope she enjoys her Popeye's chicken, is having a great day. And yeah, if I'm still live, pop back in. If I'm not, hey, hopefully we'll talk soon. So either which way. AR says, I love the game, but Ogdo Bogdo. Yeah, they are. Omega says, if you happen to be in the area, I can grab you a chicken sandwich. Man, I am from the South, and fried chicken is definitely a big thing for me. So, that's a big offer you've just made there. That's a friendship for life type offer. The only way you could pass that is a glass of sweet tea with lemon. I don't mean to sound stereotypical, but that's always been a big deal in my family is fried chicken, sweet tea. I mean, that's our go-to. All right, guys. So if it's okay with you guys, I'm gonna leave you guys with some soft music for just a minute. I'm gonna go take a quick break, take care of something. Yeah, I don't mean to sound stereotypical, so I'm not speaking for everybody in the South necessarily, but myself and my family, we are from the South, and that is a biggie with us. Fried chicken, sweet tea. So, I mean, those are big. The fried chicken, sweet tea, mac and cheese, probably, fried okra. I mean, that's, it's that. I try not to eat too bad, but man. Thanks for I'm in bed. AR, it is a short walk from there to the kitchen. I'm just messing with you, bud. I didn't mean to make you hungry. It does sound good. I'm hungry too. I think my wife is bringing back Impossible burgers that we're gonna grill out, and I think we just bought a new microwave that I don't know why or how this thing is a good price, but it's an air fryer and a crisper and a dehydrator and a yogurt maker and like all of that kind of stuff. It does all of that. So I think we're gonna crisp some tater tots and make ourselves some Impossible burgers and munch on that together tonight. Video games, bedtime snack. I don't mean to make you hungry. By the way, wife's bringing back burgers. I'm sorry, AR. I really am. It's like I said. It's a little bit. I mean, it's about dinner time over here, so it's I'm also hungry. I don't mean to make you hungry. But I'm gonna go ahead really quickly. I'm gonna go and take that break just so I don't miss the opportunity, so to speak. And so, oh man, messed up. See if we can't get you guys some nice music. And I'll be right back. I gotta remember where I put it. Did I put it on? I think it's on 5. Let's tap that button and see if that takes us there. Be right back. That looks like the right one. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break if that's okay. I'm already suffering jet lag with time zone teleporting and not sure what meal of the day it is. LOL. Yeah, I understand. All right, guys. Hey, I'm going to take just a quick break. It shouldn't take too long at all, but I'm going to go take a quick break, leave you guys with some nice music. I'll be right back. Thank you guys, all of you, so much for coming in and talking with me, keeping me company. I always have a blast getting to stream and talk with you guys, and so I really appreciate you guys for making it so special. We'll see you in just a minute. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too terribly long. Let's fade that out real quick. Very nice. Okay, cool. Let's see where am I popping up on the mixer there. That's about where I want to track. Cool. All right. And I'm going to turn that pass-through off so that I can't hear it. And then I'm going to tap that button and it's going to take me hopefully back to the game. For anybody, I need to say it. If anybody has one too, I'd love advice as to whether or not it's been worth your money. But a Stream Deck. I want to get a Stream Deck. I had Streamlabs, and with Streamlabs, I have the Prime. I had the Prime. I don't know if I will after. You know, if they're not able to get it fixed, obviously it's not worth paying for. But I don't have a Stream Deck. What I have is this Novation Launchpad Mini. It's supposed to be a music pad. And then what I've done is I've used a special series of programs to macro all the buttons to turn it into a Stream Deck. But I'm wondering if there's an extra benefit to just having a Stream Deck. I'm wondering if I should knuckle down. So if anybody has one of those and is curious, I'm sorry, not as curious, excuse me. If anyone has one of those and knows anything about it, please let me know. I definitely love the advice. So actually the first place I want to go, this is actually pretty cool. I didn't realize this has Yavin. Let's see. I'm seeing quite a bit of VGM copyright music discussion on Twitter right now. First Earthbound, with Sony Music, what? And someone's clarifying Undertale's music. Huh. How does well, firstly, Sony Music, how does Earthbound have... Sony didn't buy the rights to it, did they? I mean, that didn't make sense, right? Victory Leo says, hi. Hey, Leo. I'm sorry, I was reading it, and I was like, oh, you said, hey, TRR. That's me. Okay. Sorry about that. Hey, welcome into the stream. I really appreciate you for stopping in. It's good to get to talk with you. And the Thumb Brothers spending some family/hockey time, but wanted to drop in and say hello. No worries, no worries. I knew that today was going to be a decently big hockey day for you, so I completely understand that. But I definitely appreciate you for taking time to pop in and say hi. I really don't know how Nintendo and the VGM composer should be looking into Earthbound. Yeah, I was going to say I didn't think they did that unless that somehow tied into, because like Secret of Mana, right? Tied into a bunch of stuff that Sony bought some rights to when it came to like the Final Fantasy Squaresoft, Square Enix stuff. But at the same time, I still think that Square Enix maintains the rights on that, and then it's just really right to use on those for Sony. Some say Sony had a hand in promoting Earthbound music or something. I don't know. That I don't know. I don't know enough about that really. So I would like to look into that though, just because I'm curious. But luckily, most of the music I'm using, save for the music that's in the game, is copyright free. The music I have that's in the game is obviously the respective properties of the respective property of its owner. But Disney, I think, has the overarching. But because I am doing this as an entertainment, it does fall under the envelope of fair use. So I'm doing this for hopefully nobody comes after me for that. But I have noticed a lot of people. Some people are having their streams muted because of video game and video game music, which is a little bit of a bummer. Because a lot of people don't just sell the music by themselves anymore. There was never a Star Wars KOTOR album released, which is a darn shame because it's a beautiful series of music. It's really cool. We're going to go to Yavin first. Yavin is not an actual playable planet. It is actually a trading post planet, and it was only available. This is what's interesting to me. So the version, I should be very clear about this. The version of this that we're playing is the digital version purchased via Xbox. Now I have the disc. I have several discs, but I actually purchased. I like it so much that I wanted to have a digital backup version, basically, and so I bought it. It's $9.99 on the Xbox One, Xbox Series X, etc. So we're playing that in that format, and okay. Because we're playing it in that format, I'm wondering, on your guys' screen it's not weird, but on my screen it's actually a little box is the only display, and I don't understand why.
Lord Malik, the Star Forge is operating at 200% capacity.
But anyway,
our expectations.
yeah, I don't understand why if you're doing the if you're doing the music and you're not selling the music separately, I don't understand why you would be opposed to having people see the music.
She was aided by
Yep, some just put their own music stuff over stream. Even Nintendo Reviewer dubbed Star Wars music on a Jedi Knight video with Star Fox 64 music. Yeah, and that's a shame.
You know this man?
Yes.
That's a real shame, because the game is really an experience, and I get that some people are wanting to sell that experience, and I respect that, but at the same time, if that's the case, and you're worried about that experience being spoiled, then it would be, I would think it would make more sense to shut down the entire stream, or at least have a conversation with streamers. AR video games. I want the music from Babu Frick and the Gungans. Now that's a bad. I think it's just going to be a bunch of, I mean, Babu Frick's cool, but all you're going to hear is, hey! A bunch of that in the background, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't. You imagine every syllable of that, every ending word of the sentences having the ah on the end, right? Having someone sing it, be like, yes, I did it wrong, sir.
Lord Malak, forgive me. There is something else. May we have a...
They wouldn't have said wrong, I guess. They would have said wrong, but still, you get it. You know? I trust you are not wasting Now, I will say, AR, and you'll definitely, anybody who's played the game will definitely, I think they'll recognize it. They may not agree with my viewpoint on it, but that's okay. But that first bit of music that you hear when you're playing Jedi Fallen Order, that one that Cal is listening to in his headphones, basically, is it's a Mongolian band, and oh my goodness, I actually really like that song. It's got some kind of thumping beat to it, and they did this kind of mock Mongolian. It's so cool. I actually found that song and bought it. It's really neat. Video Game says, I'm preparing to see what VGM troubles I'll get in the showcase. Multiple games, of course. Also, your voiceover is amusing, Retro. Why is that? Is it bad? I mean, do I need to redo it, or is it? I kind of looked at it and I wrote down the script, and then I'm like, I don't want this necessarily just to be promotion. Okay. But at the same time, I want to promote some of these games because I love them so much. But at the same time, I also want it to be like, personal experience. So I hope they're good. I hope they're usable. If they're not, I'll certainly redo them. But I enjoyed them. I'm using it in a good way. It sounded a bit like, oh, voiceover in that way. Oh yeah. So you don't burn me at the stake for this. But while I have read the books, I've never seen any of the Lord of the Rings movies. I did really like. I thought you were talking about the voiceover for the showcase. Yeah, I've never seen. I know Gollum. I know who he is, and I know what he's supposed to sound like. It's Andy Serkis just doing the. We do as we pleases. We get, all that kind of stuff. I know that much, but what? Yeah, I've never seen any of the movies. I've read the books. I have the books. They're beautiful. I have them in leather binding and everything because I like the books. I think they're great. I haven't read them in a while. I should say that much. Yeah, and take the 2 Jedi. I don't really need them. This is just a trading outpost. There shouldn't be any enemies here. There should just be one random Rhodian selling some stuff you can't get on the other planets. Oh, what I was saying, I got sidetracked again. I thought a lot of people saw the movies sometimes. Even, yeah, I'm weird like that. I've always been more of a book guy than a movie guy. I like books and video games more, and that's not anybody who doesn't like that. It's not like get on my no. It's like it's none of that. I just same thing with Witcher. I was reading the Witcher books before the games came out, or before the I guess before the games came out. But I had to get them via. They didn't have them over here. I had to get them. I had to order them from the UK, I believe, because they got the translations earlier than we did over here. And then when The Witcher 3 came out, they kind of just blew up. And then I bought the much nicer and much more uniform versions. So yeah, I'm kind of weird like that. Books and games are almost more my thing now than film and TV, and I adore film and TV, but both books and games can take some time to finish, to be fair. That's true, but I like that. Like, I have a Kindle Oasis. I just got a Kindle Oasis. And it's such a cool little sleek reading device. Got the backlighting and everything. And that way, if blue light from the phones kills your eyes, or it does mine, I shouldn't say it does yours. You guys might be fine with it. But it kills my eyes. It hurts. And so because of that, because of that, I use a kind of the not so bright yellow lights of the yellow backlight of that. Or actually, I used the, what's the other one? I used a dimmer light, but it's where the page is black and the words are white, the inverse of that. And it's a lot easier for me to read and go to sleep after that. So yeah, this is, so anyway, what I was saying in this, firstly, you can see that that's definitely, the space here is definitely a tiled background, because you can definitely see the kind of V-shaped, like, sine wave patterns there. So it's actually quite a small tile that's just repeated over and over and over again. This was actually only this was in special DLC way back in the day. You had to get Xbox Live, you had to go online, and it was, this is just trading post that you could be on, but you had to download it from online. So it's really cool that it's in this version. Okay. He's a little guy. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I just want to buy your stuff, bud. Oh, he can talk about XR Kun, but I don't want that. I just want... Okay. That's I know what they are. I'm supposed to be able to buy stuff. I don't know why he's kind of... Let's see. There we go. Okay, let's take a look. What do you have? Do you have things that are cool? That's kind of cool. I don't remember some of this stuff. Okay. We have a light exoskeleton for 10,000. Do we have a thing that'll prevent me from... That's what I want. That's the thing I want right there. That's... I didn't know they did. So I'm going to sell stuff for it. Let's see what I can sell. I can sell... I don't really need Davik's Warsuit. Yeah, I'm not going to wear it again. Alright, that'll do. I didn't know I was going to be able to get it so easily. Okay. See, some of these are super, super, like, expensive, but they're really good. But I want this. I don't think I can wear it yet. I don't think I have a level 3. I don't think I have implant level 3 yet. But I can get it. I think I only have level 2. But that takes away poison and mind affecting, and this... Oh, that takes away critical hits. So then I just need a mask that'll take away critical hits. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Well, if any in a weird dialogue path to lead to buying stuff... Yeah, I don't know why... No, I don't want to auto level up. I don't know why it does that. I didn't remember his always upgrade persuade. I don't know why it leads to that. It's such a weird... these are my force powers. Dang it. Okay. Let's do... We'll start with shock. Force lightning's pretty classic. Actually, you know what? Drain life. Dang it. Okay. So I have to wait, but that's okay. It was worth it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's all he's supposed to be as a shop. There's nothing else to do out here but to talk to him, and then he can tell you about XR Kun, but you can't play as it. Okay. You can't play as XR Kun, so it doesn't really make a difference. You don't fight against him. He came along before Revan and Malik and all of them. So it's a really cool little aside. But what I was saying, what I had said earlier, and for anybody who was a part of it, in one of the earlier streams, Kotor, was that there are really 3 major crippling things that can occur to you in... there are 4, but there are 3 main ones. One is critical hits, one which will stun you, right? One is poison, which will poison you, and then the other one is your mind affecting, which will also stun you and make you not able to attack. Those 3 things are awful. There is an actual stun ability, but I think that goes into the mind affecting category. I may be wrong on that. But if that's the case, that's the only thing that you'll be susceptible to. So my first one usually is either Manon or Kashyyyk, but I think I'm going to go to Kashyyyk first. Because Manon has something that the guy from... Well, you'll see. You'll see. Some may be wondering what's the big deal with Metroid Dread. Others say to play Super Fusion, Zero Mission, and the Metroid 2 and the Metroid 2 on 3DS, and see what we're excited for. I'm actually super excited about Metroid Dread. We've been hearing rumors about it for a long time, and then to hear that it was coming out at that Nintendo Direct, and or at the E3 panel, right? And then to hear that it was coming out in August is such a cool thing. I have a buddy. I was going to say hi to that buddy, by the way, Andreas. If you ever watch this, if you're watching this or otherwise, just wanted to say hi. He's a tremendous Metroid fan, and we talk about that quite a bit. Metroid Dread looks cool, man. Yeah, it certainly does. I'm sorry. Resvergam says, hey, I was excited for Metroid Dread until the scalpers bought up all the special editions and amiibo. This dog is done jumping through hoops. Absolutely. By the way, welcome to the stream, and thank you so much for being here and for saying hi and for talking with us. I think that's awesome. But thank you so much for popping in here and saying hi again. Yeah, I'm really not interested in. I'm interested in playing the game, but I'm really done with scalpers, especially considering PS5. Video games for fun. October, not August. They laid out the calendar numbers a bit weird. If it were August, I'd be even more. Really? Did I miss it? I didn't know that. Scalpers drive me mad. Scalpers want to say do stuff. That's true. Well, the thing was like PS5. Like PS5 is supposed to be the best-selling console, so far. But if there's one guy that's bought 10 or 20, I mean, yeah, it's the best-selling console. But then that's one guy that's got 20 or stars. You know, I'm still just trying to get a hold of one. I'm really excited to get a PS5. There's absolutely nowhere I can find one.
The Wookiees of Kashyyyk
I have an urge to drop kick scalpers through a wall, but then it reminded me of my past. But then I'm reminded of my past. I'm not going back to prison. I'm choking. Or am I? I am. Maybe. When you said that, I didn't do it in the voice, but in my head, that was completely Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool, the scene with the pizza guy. That came out wrong. Or did it? I work for a cybersecurity company. We approached an online retailer with our anti-scalper bot software, and we were told we get paid either way. We don't care about the gray markets we're enabling. Oh, I have no doubt of that. I have no doubt of that. I have absolutely no doubt of that. I do not currently work in cybersecurity. I worked in cybersecurity and I worked in communications and cybersecurity. Goodness sakes, I can't speak it. Fiber communications and cybersecurity. There we go. Though for up until May of last year, and it was almost exactly the same thing when we started talking about bots. We even had one where we were talking. I can't divulge any of the information, but we were talking about some of the identity thefts that have come out. I got a letter in the mail today saying there's this mass identity theft and warning me that I could be compromised and so on and so forth. And even when having contacted them originally, when we were talking about doing these types of measures, putting these countermeasures in place, people were just like, nah, it's okay, it's fine, no big deal. We don't, so long as we're basically not losing money, we're okay with it. And it's ridiculous. So I sadly don't work with there anymore. I don't work. The company was called Vexus. They were called NTS first, and then they got bought up by another company called Vexus. Sadly, do not work with them anymore, but yeah. Biddy says, I'm waiting for a PS5 to be available in the Melbourne, Australia still. I want to play FF7R with Yuffie, if anything, plus maybe Demon Souls. Absolutely. Oh, Viddy says that. I'm sorry. I thought AR said that. I'm sitting there going, well, Melbourne, Australia. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense, knowing where about you are, Viddy. AR says, the PS5 is great, man, but I urge people, do not let the scalpers win. Just wait, and they'll be back in stock. Don't buy it overpriced. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I really want it. I really want to play Demon Souls. I really want to play, but it's just, I agree, it's just not worth it. Definitely doing my best to be patient for a PS5. Yeah, same here. Yes, this is harming the developers, manufacturers more than the customers. It is, but that's the problem with it is that they look at it as profit in general, and then of course the customers are still getting harmed by it. But it's there's no profit to kind of circumvent the for the consumer. There's no real, because the consumers are kind of the lifeblood of it, right? The consumer, there's no profit to circumvent the negativity that the end user, the client, the customer is having to deal with. Whereas at least there's some sort of profiteering that's being done so that the bigger guys are kind of, it kind of circumvents the pain. And that they see that as, good enough. Okay, we're gonna not do that. Cool. I love Mel. Beautiful city. Spent my youth down in Apollo Bay. Oh, that's really cool. I've never had the pleasure of visiting Australia. Let's see. Alright, there we go. I've never had the pleasure. I hope one day too get to visit it, but I have not yet gotten to. I'm gonna go ahead and change. I want that blue one. I think was it just a Jedi robe or was it Jedi Master robe? It's a Jedi Knight robe, so it's better defense bonus, and it's blue, and that's kind of cool. Oh, okay, there we go.
Perhaps you should reconsider leaving Zalbar behind. This is
okay. That's fine. Yeah, that's a point. That's a good point. I always forget that. I always forget that I need to take him with me on that. That's right. He speaks the Wookiee tongue, and I don't too. I don't either, rather. Okay, it's over here. We'll take Juhani out, and we'll put Zalbar in. We'll end up with Juhani again anyway, but let's go ahead and level these guys up. I don't think... We've got fights coming, but nothing major yet. What are we at? 120, 100, 72? Okay, that's fine. Fantastic. I still want to go get my favorite color, lightsaber crystal. God dang it. I know where it is. So in this, for anybody who yet again is not familiar with the Star Wars world... Oh, 1 second, I should. Due to my arachnophobia, Australia makes me nervous because I don't want to encounter a spider as big as my back. LOL, I'm sure it's a great place, though. That's that's probably very fair. AR, I actually am, I wouldn't say arachnophilic necessarily, but I like spiders. I like spiders. I don't have any pet spiders as it stands, but I am, and I get why people, I don't see it firsthand necessarily, but I understand why people are, can be arachnophobic, but I like spiders. I really like spiders. I think they're cute, and especially the little ones that, like the jumping spiders, the ones that actually have I think they're the most intelligent spiders. They're able to plan and plot and have backup plans to like their plotting, and but then they like high five their owner's fingers. I like it. You like spiders? Friendship over. I would never bring... here's the thing. Here's the difference. Because my wife is also very arachnophobic. I would never, ever bring a spider, have a spider, or insist that someone who is afraid of a spider be near one. Right? So I'd never do that. I understand why people aren't. I think they're cute. I like them. I've definitely played with tarantulas and stuff like that. We have wolf spiders down here quite often, and I love them because they eat mosquitoes and they're great. And then, like I said, they have the little jumping ones. The little jumping ones are adorable because they're not only are they intelligent, but they're so intelligent that they can actually interact almost like a pet. Spiders are fascinating, to be fair, but I'm halfway to being an arachnophobe. That's, like I said, completely fair. Dylan Ledbetter. Hey, Dylan, how you doing, bud? I haven't gotten to talk to you in a bit, and I'm so glad to see that you stopped in. They'll be the perfect pet for our eventual squid overlords. Do you mean Cthulhu? Or he couldn't say the name. I can't remember. Cthulhu. Something like that. I'm convinced spiders are from hell. Well, I mean, they could be. I don't begrudge a pet their origin. I just enjoy them as they are now. No, I mean, like, what are they? The cow killers or whatever they are, the spiders, the ones that have the ability to really, drop these giant quadrupeds. Yeah, understandably. I'm not stupid. I would definitely keep my distance there, but at the same time, I understand completely why somebody would do that, and I would kind of be tempted to kind of like want to make friends with it. So despite me saying I'm not stupid, I would love to see if I could domesticate a big spider, but I'm smart enough to know I probably shouldn't. So if anybody's curious and you find me dead on the side of the road, no, I died doing what I love. Or doing something I loved, which is trying to domesticate a giant spider I shouldn't have. And you can absolutely say, if I die from that, you can absolutely say, hey, look, that guy was dumb, but hey. And I'm cool with that. Recent Doctor Who episode called Arachnids in the UK. I bet many an arachnophobe didn't watch that week. Yeah, I'm a big hairy bear looking beast. When I see a spider, I turn it to... That's funny. Hey, like I said, I get why people I get why people are that way. I understand completely. Okay. A person in the UK I'll play Animal Crossing with is really scared of birds. Don't talk about birds to her, or say that bird is the word. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. Bird. What don't you know about the bird? These guys are pretty garbage. I'm gonna leave them alone. Sorry about that, by the way, Viddy. I'm not gonna speak to you yet, Bass. I'm not interested. We'll talk on the ship in a minute. It is absolutely essential that you talk to all of them and go through all their dialogue, but you don't have to do it here, and it's not necessary until later in the game anyway. Okay. So the big thing about Kashyyyk and about Wookiees... Dude, Brian, dude! Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I can't do a good Stewie because my throat's a little bit shot, but so all of my voices are a little off right now. Including my regular one. So my apologies. Surfing bird. Oh my goodness. I've noticed a lot of people that do the voice have to like push their bottom jaw over to the side. I don't have to do that, but I bet mine's not as good either. So, you know, same situation. In China, the citizens have eaten nearly all of the wildlife in the country. Birds don't even exist in the cities anymore. I watched a documentary about it. Freaky. Ooh, that is... I have 3 pet birds. I love birds. Also, not a bad Stewie impression. Oh, thank you. That's all of my voices are kind of off right now. My throat's kind of been shot from the everything being kind of hot and dry and nasty out here. So it's kind of been that. I'm useless at accents, impressions. I can barely speak English. That's okay. That's all right. That's I made this is a theory that honestly, I'm going to give credit to Dylan for bringing this up because I think it's absolutely brilliant. So, Dylan, if you're here, still credit because you and I talked about this years ago, that a lot of people are starting to use. And by the way, this is not meant to be offensive. It is just a potential food for thought moment. That a lot of people are using emojis, and a lot of people are even using emojis in lieu of words, right? Because it in some cases that conveys a lot more. And it's not necessarily, you could call it regression. We're going to use that term just for the sake of how language has evolved, not people. That we are, our languages are kind of going back to the like Egyptian style hieroglyphs and hieroglyphics, you know, because we're starting to replace words with the emojis and the pictures again. So Dylan, I'm giving you full credit because you were the one that brought that up when we were having the conversation. It's a brilliant observation, but our language is kind of changing. Speaking of being able to speak English or not speaking English, I think that's kind of the natural way of us, you know, having a universal language that's easy to understand and convey. I learned of my UK friend's bird phobia when I thought I saw a bird flying past her window in a stream, but it was her reflection in a mirror. Still dumb of me. Nah, you couldn't have known. What would that be? Ornithophobia? Ornithophobia? Because the study of birds is ornithology, yeah. So, like you would have, but that doesn't track necessarily. I would assume it would be something like that. Ornithology, not ornithology. Excuse me. Ornithophobia, something like that. I don't know. Red says, because I've been moved across the world too much as a kid, I have an untraceable accent. Is that a fake accent? Sounds like RP, but also like Victorian Aussie. Viddy says, that makes sense for language. Memes have lost a lot of their academic meaning or origins. Emojis and acronyms are more commonplace. It's a bit of a 1984 concern, to be fair. Yeah, it kind of is. But I understand it. When did you go into... aviophobia. That makes much more sense. I don't know why I was thinking it was because I was thinking of spiders, arachnophobia, but then I was going based off the study, and the study of spiders is not arachnophology. It's not, you know, it's a division of another, you know. So someone thought my accent was British. The waitress thought I was on holiday. You do, very stereotypically, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say stereotypically to you, but to my ears, I would say you'd pass as someone that I wouldn't, if I couldn't discern the difference, that I would have assumed to have a potentially British or English accent. I can't say British because I know that's a little too general, but English, yeah. All right, that's fine. That's G5623. Okay, Adian. It's Kashyyyk. Okay, I'm not gonna buy from you. You're just a garbage person. Someone thought my accent was British. Oh yeah, sorry. Ornithophobia. Okay, so I was on the right path. Ornithophobia is the fear of birds. So I was on the right path. It doesn't track though because the study of birds is ornithology. The fear would be ornithophobia, so that makes sense. But the study the fear of spiders is arachnophobia, but the study of spiders is not arachnophilia or something. That philia would be the opposite of phobia, so that's not even right.
I don't take kindly to...
There we go. All right, we're just going.
I won't stop you.
Okay, so these guys, I'm gonna go. Oh, but thank you for looking it up, by the way. I very much appreciate it. So the story on this is Kashyyyk. This is where all the Wookiees come from, including but not limited to our very own Chewbacca, and then in this case is Zolbar. Ah, man, Kenrath. Tree spiders. By the way, sorry about this. If anybody is arachnophobic, these little guys are kind of creepy. Fortunately, they don't exist, but understandably, they could make some people squeamish. The actual definition of study spiders is... I read that in such a frantic voice, too. Why would you do that? This almost just crying, pleading voice. That's pretty funny. Oh, I don't care about this sentry droid. Who do you? Okay, I understand. I should get back. I'm sorry. I should get back to the explanation of this, at least so that not everybody's lost here. And it's kind of always a thing. You see it in the Solo movie as well. You really see it in the Solo movie. You don't really see it everywhere else. Wookiees are enslaved. They're considered lesser citizens and a lesser species, and they are. Mostly because they are very tall and well built, very strong, but they seem not. They're not remarkably technologically advanced.
You think I can?
This is Zerka Corporation. There are a lot of different corporations: Zerka, Aerotech, Blastech, all these different corporations. Zerka is kind of the big, evil one.
This Wookiee slave got a... What?
There we go. I'm gonna let him kill them. So they get enslaved by these awful people because these people are using shock collars and all these other awful things. Of course, Wookiees are super intelligent. They're just not big tech people, and they have a kind of a tribal code. They don't brush their hair. They don't like to brush their teeth. You know, they let whatever they're eating clean their teeth or clean the smell out of the previous meal out of their mouth, stuff like that. So it's that kind of stuff. And so what we're in the middle of is this is one of the planets on the star map. Zolbar's from here. He's been excommunicated involuntarily for things we'll find out later. And we're bringing him back so we can find another star map on this planet, as well as potentially settle some of his family issues. All right, I'm gonna catch up really quickly here. Well, at least my friend wants a puppy. No matter what kind, she just wants a puppy. Puppy power. My puppy Charlie says hi. I love puppies. We got six doggies. We've got 2 wiener dogs, Maul and Foster. Maul named for Darth Maul. Foster named because his previous name was Oscar. And my wife had him and had to rename him to something she liked better that wasn't Oscar, but sounded similar, so he would still respond to his name. We have Dobby. He's an Italian Greyhound, or an Iggy. Dobby is a little doofus. He's probably has the most character of everyone. We have Gavin. Gavin is he looks like a teeny tiny. He's like a teeny tiny golden retriever, but he's a golden retriever Chihuahua mix. He just followed me home one day, so we decided to get him his shots and keep him, so he didn't get run over. And then we have let's see, who'd I mention? Deku. Deku's a little terrier mix. He's a doofus, very intelligent doofus, but he's a doofus nonetheless. This is over here. Is Zerka guy dead? good. That was mean. They're slavers. I really don't like that, so I shouldn't be that mean. I know he's a fictitious character, but gosh dang it. And then we have, oh shoot, who's the other one? Who did I miss? Oh, Sora. Named for the Kingdom Hearts protagonist. I have not played Kingdom Hearts. My wife's a huge fan. And Sora is a husky. He's a beautiful, beautiful husky with those mean eyebrow fur patterns. We have six puppies, 4 kitties, a snake, 3 birdies, and a prairie dog named Petey. PD like prairie dog, but Petey pronounced Petey, right? It's kind of cute. Our 3 birds, we have 1 finch and 2 parakeets. That's the finch is Arthur, and the parakeets are Sam and I can't remember what she decided to change. It was Yennefer originally, but she wanted to change it. I can't remember. Oh, Gwendolyn's what she changed it to, so it's Gwen now. And then we have a snake, and the snake's name is Scarlet, spelled like the Mortal Kombat character. So, Ellen of Outside Extra was shown spiders in video games, i.e. Limbo, Resident Evil, and the Souls games. Some of them did not go down well, including the giant spider in Zelda Twilight Princess. That's completely understandable. I can understand and respect that. The spiders in Skyrim used to freak me out. The ones in Jedi Fallen Order are a nightmare too. I just want to enjoy the game. Those ones are horrible, but it is uber satisfying because your lightsaber looks and acts like a real lightsaber to chop those things in half. I hate those spiders, and I'm not a spider hater, but I do hate those spiders. The only spiders that I hate just around that amount are the Kenrath in this game, but I still hate those more. At least Lobaka tried to change the world. That's very true, and Chewbacca did too. At least in previous canon, he tried to lift a world. Video Games for Fun says, "Ooh yeah, games are coming with warnings such as may contain spiders." If that's a real thing, I can understand it, but at the same time, like eventually games are gonna have so many disclaimers on the front, you don't know what the game title is. They don't like to brush their hair or brush their teeth. Sounds like the locals around here. Yeah, I know a few people that kind of follow that credo as well. Yeah, they don't like that. And he mentions it in here. He's not a big fan. Let's see. 6 dogs. Whoa, we can mostly only look after our one. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of ours are rescue. A lot of our puppies are rescue. Dobby was Foster and Maul were rescued. Dobby was intentional. I think all the rest of them were rescues. We pick them up. They're sick or super malnourished, and they're wandering around. We try to figure out who has them or who owned them. But if they're super malnourished or in some cases beaten, we don't want to return them to that person because that's they're in trouble. And so what we'll do is we'll make sure that they're okay. We'll feed them, nurse them, get them back to health, and then we'll go get their shots when they're healthy enough for that. And we keep them. We've rehomed a couple. We had a dog named Kylo, pit bull, super sweet, too much energy, too big for us, was tearing up furniture, and so we gave him to. He was real sweet though. We love him to pieces. We miss him, but we gave him to a family that had a bunch of like open, land. Oh, also. Zalbar is not a very popular... Okay, fine. Zalbar is not a very popular guy here. His involuntary excommunicado is causing us some problems here. There's some John Wick fans. Golden Retrievers are so chill that the San Diego Zoo uses one to keep their cheetah calm when they bring it out on stage during shows. When I say Golden Retriever, he's a Golden Retriever Chihuahua mix, so he looks exactly like... He looks exactly like a Golden Retriever does, except for he's the size of a Chihuahua. So he's only about a foot long, and he's only about 6 inches off the ground from top to bottom. Looks exactly like... Oh, I should have been paying attention to Basila's health. Are you... Zalbar? Really? Am I... Where's your freaking bowcaster, man? That's some bull. Yeah, you can't put clothes on him. He won't do that. Well, he won't do it anyway, but yeah, you can't put he's got an implant version 3. I'll give him the one that I have once I've upgraded mine. Okay, let's switch back. Basila. I adore most of the Kingdom Hearts game. I haven't gotten to play them really. We have them all. I intend to play them. I just haven't gotten to. Sounds like Ace Ventura with all those animals. Yeah, it kind of is. You won't see me popping outside of a rhino's backside, but apart from that, yeah. Alrighty then. I like that. That's good. LMFA. Okay. I'm not sure which thing. I'm a little bit behind. Yeah, no, that's a friend of mine. That's a friend of mine. That's a difficult thing. One of the things that definitely is difficult about streaming nowadays is you have people that'll their stuff will pop up online, and you don't want people to connect to them. I tried to do it where I didn't get the notifications, but I still do. But anyway, friend of mine. I'm pretty sure. What happened? I wanted to open a box. Instead, I jiggled a bit and then went to the left. What happened? 10 spikes. Slice the ID requirement. I'm pretty sure I can just break these. And it doesn't work like the second one. Yep, a Smash Bros. Ultimate Let's Play. Which a friend of mine yeah. It's a little bit frustrating because you don't want that information to be out there for people who are adding random friends. Oh, hey, I'm here from such and such's stream, and they're like, well, I had nothing to do with that. I thought I tried to. I'm gonna make sure I do that. I trust you guys, of course, but I don't want to. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. I don't want to. You know, I don't want something to accidentally get misused by some people that I don't know later on down the line.
Lord Malak was most
These are what the Dark Sith look like at that time. They all wear onesies with hoods and cod pieces, I guess. Oh, but they have purple lightsabers, and that is my favorite color, so that is the lightsaber I want. I'm gonna drain your life, buddy. Ah, dang it, I don't have the mind affecting thing yet. Keep healing me, Bastila. I'm gonna need some help here. Ooh, you guys are getting on my nerves. Let me move. Aha, I'm gonna take that back. Okay, hold on. Nope, this one. They can handle themselves. So Force Drain actually got showed as canon in Episode 9, which is one of the good things that came from Episode 9, of course. Why do I have all of them on me? Wait, I'll take this one. I'm fine with that. I don't need all of them. Let's see. Well, Nintendo trusts us not to exchange our friend codes just randomly, to be fair. Yeah, with Xbox a little bit different, so. I'm out for now. Best of luck. Thanks for the entertaining combo. Thanks, Dylan. I appreciate it. We'll see you a little bit later. Let me get this real quick. And Zolbar. Oh, Bastila, you could use some. Bastila, use the health pack. There you go. Do it again. There you go. Alright, cool. That actually almost didn't work out. Yeah, we'll see you later, though, Dylan. I appreciate you for stopping in and saying hi. I really do. Okay, so there's that. And I'm not going to use the purple one yet because my lightsaber's got better crystals in it, but purple's my favorite color, so because purple's my... Oh, there's some good ones, too. Because purple's my favorite color, I'm going to want a purple lightsaber. But I want one with good crystals in it, too, that have some stuff. Episode 9, there are only 3 Star Wars films. Some would say 6 films. And other people might say 9. No, we're just kind of working our way up. So, I have an opinion on this. I think, Viddy, you may have been in one of my streams when I talked about it. I'm not sure. And for Rez, I'll put my opinion on it. There are 6, in my opinion. I do like the prequels quite a bit. 4, 5, and 6 are absolutely the best. Nah, 3 films for me, and I'm more of a Star Wars casual. That's fair. For me, so here's my thing. I like 3, 4, and... I'm sorry, I like 4, 5, 6. 5 is my absolute favorite, 4 is my second favorite. However, 6 is not my third favorite. 3 is. So, I have a prequel in my third favorite film, and there are reasons for it, and I've got a ton of reasons for it, but... 1 is fine. I missed out on some of the Star Wars discussions on your KOTOR streams, I think, but I'm happy to be part of it. Yeah! And you're more welcome to be. Star Wars is one of my favorite things. In terms of just, if you're talking about escapism, this is the place I'll go. These are the books I'll read. These are the games I'll play. And in my case, for going to the films, which I think a lot of people do, I think a lot of people know the films, so I think it's fair to talk about those fairly openly. I really like 4, 5, and 3. I dislike the prequels, but I didn't feel insulted watching them. They just weren't my cup of tea. Disney murdered the franchise, though. Yeah, that's fair, and that's fair too. I mean, there's some people that don't like 4, 5, 6 too. I mean, like, you don't have to like it, and that's okay. But I really like. So 1 is a little bit boring, but it introduces one of the cooler characters, especially when you start reading the books. If you ever do, when you start reading the books and you start, oop, I bumped the mic. You start reading the books and you start looking at the extended canon, I guess you'd say, like the Clone Wars and stuff. You start doing stuff like that, then you start kind of really appreciating like Qui-Gon Jinn. Darth Maul also super awesome, but it was a little bit monotone. It was boring, but it also helped establish a political climate. So I respect it for what it was. It's not my favorite. There we go. 3, 4, 5, and 6 are surely the ones I most enjoyed. I might have liked 7 and 8 in the moment. Key phrase is in the moment, but just nope. Yeah, no, I agree with that. So I don't like 2 very much, because 2 was just kind of cobbled together after 1 had some failings, specifically with the Jar Jar character. They kind of changed their tactic on how they were going to do 2. So 2 was kind of cobbled together, but it did introduce Count Dooku. Count Dooku's an awesome character too. All right, now I should go ahead and level everybody up real quick. As soon as Jar Jar appeared, I checked out. That's fair. Yeah. And that's why they rewrote a lot of 2 as well. He was supposed to be a lot bigger piece of the puzzle, and he didn't end up being that way. 3, however, I really love. And I think, I want to say undeniably, some people may disagree, but I want to say that 3 absolutely has the most impressive score. And I think, in my opinion, I think it makes people feels a lot more than the other people, than the other films do, rather. So I think, like, that's, and maybe that's not the mark of a good movie, but I really love 3 for that reason. 7's fine, but it's just, 7's 4, but not as good. 8 is everything I never wanted in a Star Wars movie in a Star Wars movie. And 9 is, if I had to pick of the sequel trilogy, which ones I like the most, 9 is it. But there's some fan service done. Firstly, J.J. Abrams tried to put everything together that Rian Johnson broke up. Remember the rumor of Jar Jar as Snoke? Yeah, that was a little bit crazy. I was on board with the Rey as a Palpatine theory. I knew that was probably where they were going, and they did. Should I not say that now? I mean, that's a spoiler for a movie that's 2 years old. I don't know if I should or shouldn't say that. I remember the rumor, but not the theories of Jar Jar being... Not such a rumor, but the theories of Jar Jar. So Jar Jar was originally supposed to be a lot bigger piece of things, and there is some evidence that Jar Jar was actually supposed to be a big bad. But didn't end up... They didn't end up doing it. My issues with 3 are that Anakin turned on a dime. I also dislike the Luke and Leia revelation. That destroys A New Hope if you watch them in sequential order. Which Luke and Leia revelation? I'm sorry. I'm not sure which one. Just them being born, or that she's pregnant, or I'm probably misunderstanding that. The Anakin turning on a dime thing, they could have handled it a little bit more subtly. But I guess I got it in kind of this broad brush concept feel, which was, where'd that guy go with the Shadowlands? Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. I think it's over here. I think they could have handled it a little bit more smoothly, but I think the basic concept, the broad brush concept for me was, you have a guy that's been having visions of family members and loved ones dying, and they almost always come true, and so he now sees the one person he's really got left, and that he loves the most and the closest, and he sees her in that same arena as he saw the previous ones, and he puts himself to a point where he's like kind of the traditional bad guy of this is a bad thing. What I'm doing is a bad. Is this good Shadowlands? Yeah, I think it's down there. The thing I'm doing is bad, but I don't. It's the "don't make me hurt you" type thing, which is not a good statement, but it's spoilers. Hard to say what their expiry date is. Looking at Game of Thrones season 1, my opinion. I mean, like I like the idea of a year for me, but I don't know what everybody else likes, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody else. But for me, I like the idea of a year, giving someone a year to watch it. Either if they don't watch it in a year, then they're probably either not wanting to watch it or whatever. But I could be wrong. Let's see. I feel bad for the kid who played Anakin. He seems so down nowadays. Yeah, Jake Lloyd. He blames Star Wars for it, and I think that's a little. I mean, I don't think that. I think that he puts a lot of it towards the Star Wars thing, but I don't think it is. I mean, he did the same kind of acting in Jingle All the Way, and people had. I mean, he had a portfolio at that point. I still love Jingle All the Way. He's not a. I don't believe that he's genuinely Arnold Schwarzenegger's kid, but I liked the show. But I agree, I do feel bad for him now. I feel like a lot happened. Let's see. Yeah, that's also a good point. I agree with that. The names ahead of time. It is definitely. I don't want to talk. I don't mess with those guys. I don't talk with those guys. They don't talk. They're Michaels, but still. Let's see. Yeah, I think also to be on that Rez, I think that one of the big things that they tried to do in that case was they tried to tie everything up, because it at that point was a 25-30-year mystery or so. Actually, it'd be a little bit longer, about a 40-year mystery, but it was a 40-year mystery, and then they're like, oh well, now we just want to tell the whole story. But I understand too. Like I grew up on 4, 5, 6, so I completely understand where you're coming from, and I completely respect that. It seems like characters' turns are rushed more in TV and films nowadays than given room to breathe and to develop. Looking at you, Game of Thrones. Well, here's a question, and this is this is not meant to be, yet again, offensive to anybody or everybody. But it does make a general statement. We see attention spans, and this is YouTube does a lot of this. We see people's attention spans are generally declining. How many people actually go and watch an entire, if they're not directly engaged with it, how many people actually watch a lot of entire videos all the way through? A lot of people would rather kind of get the meat and potatoes of it, and then they jump to the next video. So we see a smaller attention span. So I think a lot of people feel like that they have to put the hook in much more quickly than they normally would have with people that had the longer attention spans. I feel like that's the case, but I that's a hypothesis that I can't really test. It's just, I don't know. Oh, never mind. I don't care. Let's see. I forgot he was in Jingle All the Way. Yeah, he's the main kid there for sure. But I get it. I mean, Jake Lloyd and the guy that played Jar Jar were really given more crap than they deserve. I know. So, if you get a chance, and I highly recommend making some time if you're a fan. The guy that played Jar Jar, his name's Ahmed Best, and I feel so bad for the guy. There's a small, I wouldn't call it a documentary, but a recount/interview. He was given so much grief and so much guff about the Jar Jar character that he actually contemplated jumping off of a bridge. I know this is a kind of a heavy topic for a room that's meant to be fun, but yeah, he I know, that's why I stepped on the elevator. We're gonna run into a quote-unquote ambush. It's not really an ambush. I know they're down here, but still, we're gonna run into it. But yeah, anyway, so he literally contemplated doing something that drastic, and it's really awful. But yeah, he got a lot more The character was written, he played the character perfectly. It's just that the character didn't really fit in what people wanted. And that's not his fault. Jake Lloyd was in that film. Huh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Yes, he is.
I have to give you
true, my attention span I felt declined, especially recently. And I don't blame anybody who sees or has noticed a decline in their own attention span or other people's. But YouTube encourages that. There are these shorts. That's why YouTube Shorts is a thing. And we look at Twitter and we look at memes, right? These are all very instant gratification orientated things, right? You're very much looking at, very small. And when you're looking at videos, you want to get to the meat and potatoes. If it says, you won't believe, stay till the end. Well, you're going to watch the end. You're going to scroll through, the 13-minute video, watch the last 5 minutes and go, oh, I get it. And it kind of encourages us not to, because we have such instant gratification, it kind of encourages us to disengage and to be, to have our attentions re-engaged at a moment's notice. So, modern technology has turned society into an ADD-addled dopamine junkies, or into ADD-addled dopamine junkies. Always about that instant gratification. I fear what the ramifications of that will have on our future. I agree. I completely agree. I feel like that our technology will have to adapt to create the desire, or not necessarily the desire, but the need to wait, and to be patient. Because when we also look at attention spans being diminished, we also look at things like patience, right? How patient people are with conversation. We look at things in terms of debates becoming more escalated because people don't have the patience to firstly remain composed, and secondly to articulate their point further, or to come up with clever thoughts or counterpoints, or even to admit that they were wrong. Those all go into the same boat of attention span and patience, and because it's patient, right? So I think that's kind of caused and that I think the internet and a lot of people that talk on the internet, not everybody, there are great people out there. You guys are great people. I've talked with many of you, but I feel like that there are definitely people who are willing to do that. There's actually an internet rule, I believe it called, I think it's Cunningham's Law, that Dylan and I were talking about this as well, but Cunningham's Law, I think it is, which is the fastest way to get the correct answer to a problem is to intentionally paste the wrong one. And then you can actually use somebody's, lack of patience and their willingness to call you an idiot to get the correct answer, because they'll correct you. They'll be out there faster than if you would put the right answer up. The thing about character portrayals, it wasn't really their fault. People gave Laura hate for the Abby character in The Last of Us 2. She was only delivering the lines and stuff. People should understand and be respectful more. Yeah, Last of Us 2 is not my favorite, and it gets a little, in my opinion, it gets a little preachy and a little political. But the actors and the actresses did a brilliant job. The graphics are great and the gameplay's fine. It's just, I have my gripes with it. But yeah, I agree. She should not have gotten any of that. She did a great job. Right, it says, yeah, actors are not their characters. Lena Headley, Cersei Lannister, Sarah Connor said she was treated poorly because fans of the show saw her as Cersei. Yeah, there's a huge people are becoming less able to do that too, to differentiate. It's really sad too. And I say this yet again, not trying to be cynical, but there was a study done, and it was in the 1970s that it began, but it's been done from the 1970s to now. The data's remained, and some of the same people are on it, and it showed due to more instant gratification and due to more access to technology, which has created this deficit in attention, and has also created this has also diminished people's patience, and has also created a library effectively of ever-growing knowledge that is easily accessible. People decide that in a lot of cases that they don't really need to retain information / data for themselves. And so it shows a fairly substantial drop in IQ as well. And I can't speak for the entire world. I do know that this study was conducted in the North American region, so Canada and North America were the dominant participants. I'm sure Mexico had some participation. But they were seeing a fairly steady decline in, 3 to 5 points per decade up to now. The average IQ is between 90, according to our current standards, between 90 and 110. Granted, that's fluid IQ. It's liquid IQ essentially, not crystalline. But you see people have seen a drop in IQ, 3 to 5 points per decade, depending, and that's a pretty substantially. I mean, it's a very dangerous thing for people of even just average intelligence, of which I don't assume to be anything more or less than. It's a very dangerous thing. Let's see. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant there. It's just it's such a thing. It's one of the things that I love and hate about the internet. If you want to know something, you can immediately look it up, and because you can immediately look it up, and you know you can immediately look it up, you have no desire to learn it. You just have the desire to look it up eventually, and that's also a big deal. But then it's dangerous because that ties into the attention deficit piece. I was always a big fan of the heels in wrestling. I knew it was all an act. Some of those baddies are the nicest people, and they treat their fans really well. I still have my Polaroid with the Iron Sheik. That is super cool. I never met the Iron Sheik. I did work in the gaming industry at the early 2010s, and I did have the pleasure of meeting and taking a picture with Hulk Hogan in wrestling. That was really fun, getting to talk to him. I didn't think he was as tall as he was. I'm a man of average height, and he just towered over me. I didn't realize he was as big as he was. Because I had always seen his, I'd seen his stuff, but he always looked like he was about as tall as everybody else, save for him versus Andre the Giant. And yeah, he towered over me. He's a big guy. Really cool though, really nice. During those same years, I had the pleasure of meeting some really great people though. Mark Hamill, T.C. Carson, Barry Sanders. Who else did I get to meet? Those are the ones that were super memorable for me. Oh shoot, I can't think of his name. Jim Parsons, there we go. Got to meet him. That was cool. Yeah, I had the pleasure of getting to meet some really cool people. Righto, I better go. Got a lunch and more to attend today. Bye all. Thanks for the chat. Hey, Viddy, thank you so much for stopping in and spending so much time with us. I really appreciate it. It's always great to have you in here as company and great conversation as well. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great lunch, and I hope we'll get to see you again soon. Okay, let's see if we do this.
Let's go, boys.
Sorry about that. Got off on a sidetrack. It's a very serious topic to me, and I think it was great. I'm getting to speak with several very intelligent people about a very intelligent topic, and it's a really cool thing to get to do that. Okay, I'm going to take that from you. I'm going to leave my level up, though, because if I leave my level up, I get a free boost to my my health. Insta-boost. And I can still drain health from the Wookiees. Oh shoot. Let's can I get we have med packs, right? Get you a med pack. Johnny, I need you to do we have an advanced med pack? Do we have a life support pack? Okay, we do have a life support pack. I might queue that up for you. Okay, I'm gonna take this Wookiee thug out. Oh, there's two. I didn't notice the guy with the bowcaster back there. Ah, god dang it. So this is part of the reason I want the implant level, the next implant level, is because I can avoid that critical hit there. Wait, did Callow die? You guys did. Callow's actually pretty tough. He actually has a decent amount of life, and he's decently difficult to take down. So I'm glad that they did that. Usually I have Carther Candrus for him. He's got some cool stuff, but he's got some. I think he's got some like armor. No, he doesn't have armor. He's got. Yeah, he does. Battle armor. Never mind. And he had credits, and he had antidote. That's good. All right, so now we're. I guess I should kind of catch. We're in the Shadowlands, which is the ground level of Kashyyyk. This is the lift, and this guy didn't help us because they don't like us. That's okay. Callow was hired by Darth Malak in the cutscene we saw previously to kill us, because they don't obviously like us. Let me level up real quick. Do I get a feat? Yeah, I do. Okay. Is that a class skill? Persuade's still a class skill. Okay, that's fine. Feats. I want to get the next implant level if I can. Yes, I can. Boom. Cool. That's going to be neat. And then powers. We will do a stun. Oops. We'll do a stun power. Okay, cool. So now that I have that, let me go switch that implant out. So I have immunity to poison and mind affecting. And then I should have... I thought I had a thing that would give me an immunity to critical hits. But I guess I don't. But I don't need this anymore, so I'll use this. And then I'll give... I didn't spec her out at all. Sorry, Juhani. What do you have? Yours is red? I want your red one. You can have this blue one. I'm gonna take her. Oh no, never mind. I'll take this one. You can still have the blue one though. But and then you can have the red one. Because that'll actually give her more protection. So okay, cool. Now I am immune to poison and I'm immune to mind affecting. So now all I am missing is critical hits, which I will find. I think I have a mask that'll do that for me. There's certainly a pair of gloves that'll do it. So here's some Kotarns. It's really cool. This is getting to see a Kotarn. It's kind of interesting to see kind of how some of the names of the characters in there tie into creatures. For anybody who's familiar with the original, which is now called Legends, the original canon, there's a character called Kyle Katarn, and he's absolutely one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. Because he's a Jedi. Everybody, I've noticed that when you play Star Wars games, you typically see like the Jedi Sith a lot. You see the Force users and the lightsabers. And you see a lot of people asking to be the bounty hunter / mercenary character. And, we get to meet a really cool character here. This is probably one of my favorite. Yeah, getting stun locked is brutal. It absolutely is. And this game has so many ways to do it. So there like I was mentioning earlier, there are 4 ways to do it, and I think you can get immunity technically from 3 of those 4.
Damnable racket of battle.
This is probably my favorite. He's probably my favorite character, good guy character.
Why am I here? Keep close.
Yeah, he's probably this is Jolie Bendo. He's probably my favorite. He's probably my favorite good guy character. He's really awesome. Oh yeah, Kyle Katarn is a hero of the Jedi Knight Dark Forces game. Absolutely. I'm glad you know about him too. Yeah, he's super cool because he's the he's a Jedi, but he's a Jedi. It's not until Jedi Academy that he really kind of takes up the Jedi-like duties. So he's really a Jedi mercenary. He's a guy that's just as willing to pull a gun out and take the gun as he is to take a gun to you as he is to take a lightsaber up and go and force fight.
We should discuss a few things.
Let's see.
You'll have nothing but time if you don't take what help you can. My days of glory are...
Let's see.
Now, why would you be asking about that? The problems of a few...
There's no point in being mean to him. You don't get dark side points for that because he's gonna... Well, I don't want to say it, but...
What I'm saying, you must do a task for me. Since they began expanding, a group of them set up camp not far from here.
Let's see.
Don't talk back to your elders, child. Look, they know me quite well.
So this is also the other thing I like. I'm fairly certain that this is the voice actor's Kevin Michael Richardson, I think.
Good. Return to me.
Who played the voice of the Joker when in Batman Beyond and all kinds of other great. He played Baron Mordo in the Doctor Strange cartoon, the cartoon movie that came out in like 2008, I think. Really good voice actor, but he also creates one of my most favorite characters here in Jolie. No, I don't want to talk. Okay.
I am sorry. I hope that my... Thank you. I can only hope.
I didn't want to talk to her, but I did. Eventually, I'll have to talk to all of them, but yet again, it's not a big thing right now. Yeah, Kyle Katarn is one of my favorites. I really miss, for anybody who is a fan of the, or has watched the, I don't want to say watched, who's read the books or played the Dark Forces series of games, I say watch it as well, but honestly, I think you should play them if you can. You can YouTube them if you want to. Kyle Katarn's really cool, but in the original canon, there were so many other characters that he got to go and talk to and help. In the games, it's, he got some of the cool Jedis like Dasan. Okay. like Dasan or Jarek were really cool. And Jarek was our first real taste of Mira Luca. Blind humanoids born blind but force sensitive.
Mess with my prophets and I'll see you dead.
Let's see.
A crazy old... I've got a job to do here, and there's nothing you or... I don't need this if you've got something. Is that old hermit... As long as the sonic emitters keep the preds... I mean, if I can put up...
Alright, I'm going to leave. I'm going to take the sonic emitters down so that they get attacked by animals. You can actually just kill them all, but... Let's see. Okay, son of a gun. I don't remember how. I don't remember exactly how to do it. So if I can't remember how to do it, I'll just bash them, or I'll fight them. Well, I've got talk glands. I forgot I need those too. I don't have to actually kill the talk form, which is good. AR says, "How have you been, man? Did you have a good weekend?" I did have a good weekend. It was really good. I had a good weekend, good Father's Day, all that kind of good stuff. I was apologizing because earlier on in the stream, because I actually had a lot of big kind of heavy hitting stuff, you know, come up, and not bad. Yet again, nobody deserves my bad day, even if I did have one. But it was just a lot of stuff kind of came up, and but I think we've got it all solved, and I'm excited about it, and I feel pretty good. I hope also that you're doing really well. It seems like everything's kind of been happy and looking up for you as well. I hope that's definitely the case. Okay, well, I'm just going to I guess I'm just going to threaten these guys to a fight.
Back again, huh?
I can go and ask for the code, I know that, but I'm dark-sided anyway at this point, so it might as well be.
Yeah, is that old hermit? As long as the sonic...
Let's see.
I mean, if I... All right, I'm done talking with you. You've got under my skin one too many
I just made him
times.
mad
I'll
enough.
bury you down here.
I didn't even threaten him to a fight. I just called him nothing special, and I got dark side points for that. Which is true. He's a slaver, so he is truly nothing special. Disney should have embraced the EU and hired on someone like Chris Avellone to write the screenplays for those 3 films. KOTOR and KOTOR 2 are written so much better than Disney's offerings. I agree. Which I think... I don't know KOTOR 2 is... I don't think KOTOR 2 is written by him, but KOTOR 1 I think was Drew Karpyshyn. And I really like Drew Karpyshyn's stuff. He does. He did a lot of He did Mass Effect. He did this, I believe. He did 3 Old Republic novels that were really good. He did the Darth Bane trilogy, which is absolutely amazing in my opinion. Some of the best books out there in terms of Star Wars. If anyone ever asks to start Darth Bane trilogy, is one of my favorites, but it's not canon anymore. Bane is, but the books aren't. Eric says, "I'm doing good, man. Definitely feeling better in myself, inspired, enjoying my hobbies again, enjoying games and movies, and not feeling like I'm just playing them to play them." No, that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. That's the whole thing. If what you're doing, oops, if what you're doing isn't fun, it was my granddad was a very wise man, and he often had a sense of humor. About how he, in the way that he deployed his humor, so to speak. His wisdom, rather, excuse me. And one of the things he had made mention of was this kind of joke of a man goes to the doctor and he bends the doctor asks, "What's the problem?" And the man bends all 4 of his fingers quite far backwards to the point of where the fingernails are almost touching the back of his hand, and says, "Well, doctor, it hurts when I do this." And the doctor looked back at him and said, "Well, my diagnosis is don't do that." It's the same basic premise. It was my granddad's way of saying, if you're doing something unpleasant, it's only common that you should not do that. You should not do that. You shouldn't necessarily seek to make the thing that you're doing that is unpleasant pleasant. Rather, you should seek to stop doing the things in it that are unpleasant. Moving your fingers, bending them, and so on and so forth isn't necessarily unpleasant. In fact, in some cases, it's absolute necessity. But doing it in such a way where you find it unpleasant is something that you should amend if you can help it. And it's not, by the way, I don't want to put any blame. It's not your fault that happens. Sometimes people you just don't feel in the mood. Some stuff happens, but that's kind of my grandfather's nugget of knowledge, so to speak. I've almost had a jolt of energy and inspiration lately, kind of fired up to just create and stuff, just better than myself still. Aren't perfect, but what is? No, that's perfect. That is perfect. What is perfect is the fact that you look at it like that. I think that's fantastic.
Yes, I heard the fuss of it. I told you I wanted a Circa Corporation will find the bodies and blame the Wookiees. I'm not pleased, but what's done is done. Well, perhaps I have a duty to point out what you should have learned.
Depression has become pervasive in today's society. Things are just set up now where depression has become almost unavoidable. Yeah, well... That's a difficult thing to say for me, and I'm not saying I disagree necessarily with the idea of it, but I do think chronic depression. I think people who suffer from diagnosable depressions or even undiagnosed depressions that are chemical depressions, obviously, things have definitely set up to catalyze that. I think, yeah, I think that the being secluded from last year's revelation, and I think, I think people feeling that they have fewer outlets and all of that. I feel like I think that's absolutely a more available path than it was and has been in the past. I agree with that. But I also think I wouldn't say it's unavoidable. I would say, or even almost unavoidable necessarily. And I'm trying to choose my words very carefully because I don't want to misconvey and sound insensitive, because I absolutely understand that depression is a real deal and it's a big deal. And I'm very fortunate and very lucky that I don't suffer from a chemical or chronic depression. My wife has, and she shows me how strong you have to be to have that and to trek on. But I feel like that rather than it being unavoidable, that the positive that would circumvent or help stave off depression is just less visible. I don't think that depression has become less avoidable. I believe the gems to helping avoid depression have become more invisible, more difficult to find. And I believe that people cover it up because I feel that people are more willing to be depressed. And yet again, I don't want this to sound insensitive, so please forgive me. I don't, if it does. But I think that people are more willing to be depressed and to say that there were circumstances that they couldn't control that forced them into that depression than they are to try everything and then come out of it still potentially depressed. But, but I think that sounds super insensitive. It's super hard to convey. Nobody wants to be depressed. It's just, I feel like it's easier to give up, or it's easier to make excuses to give up. And I know that, like I said, I know that sounds insensitive, so I hope it's not coming across the wrong way. But that's, I do think it's easier. I do think it's easier to give up, and I think it's, and I don't blame anybody who feels that way. I can't convey it properly, and I don't have the right expertise. It's strictly an opinion that I'm looking at from the outside looking in. So I don't have, I mean, if that's considered by someone who has firsthand account of it, that's an unintelligent assumption or an unintelligent hypothesis, please say so. And I mean, but that's kind of how I felt being with somebody who does suffer from chronic depression. I don't have the right to speak on it, and I wish she were here. She could speak so much more intelligently on it and debate that point for me if she felt it was wrong. But it's just kind of from the outside looking in, it's almost like that's what I see, what I think I see. And I may not understand it either. I may not understand what I'm seeing. So I'm always willing to learn. Isolation by tech and lockdowns did on a lot of people. Sure. No, absolutely. There's no doubt. There's no doubt, though, that people that are depressed are depressed. I don't want to diminish that. The people that have suffered from it are absolutely suffering from it. So I definitely don't want to diminish anybody's experience in that case. And I don't want to say that people that are depressed are not fighting or are not trying. I don't want to insult anyone in that way. I feel like it's harder to see the solution, but I also feel like that there are people, at least in my life, and I'll say that specifically, that are have been more willing to give up and blame it on this and then just not try again. And depression is this awkward cycle where it tells you it's hopeless, and then you say it's hopeless, and then it becomes hopeless and kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy because you don't want to do it anymore. So it's crazy. But anyway, I apologize. If it seems like I'm speaking unintelligently on it, please tell me. I don't mean to be offensive or unintelligent in that regard. I don't have enough insight, so I'm just hypothesizing from the outside. Let's see. So I've got to stop being so opinionated and recreationary on Twitter. LOL. I genuinely believe some people are avoiding me due to my opinions and how upfront I can be, but that's how I am. If I'm to be honest with you, AR, I mean, whether I've agreed or disagreed with your opinions on there, I like the fact that you put your opinions out there. I do feel like, and this is something I do have some experience with, yet again, not great, so if but I feel like people are absolutely more willing to be offended these days. And instead of having a polite discourse and then ending that discourse by saying, I disagree, but I respect you, which I have friends, I have very close friends, and I disagree with them on a lot of key topics. But we're still great friends. We respect that we each have our own thought processes, and the reason we respect those is because we understand that we are intelligent. I respect my friends as intelligent. So I have a hard time, unless I have facts that prove some of these things, which is very difficult when it comes to subjective truth, like emotion, right? I have, or like these general hypotheses, which are very difficult to test. I still realize at the end of it, while I might disagree with someone, I don't believe that they got any less intelligent. Their opinion's coming from some place of intelligence. I just disagree with it. And I think more people are willing to be offended rather than disagree and respectful. I can disagree and still say, look, that's, we're friends. Don't worry, man, you've never said a thing that could be interpreted in the wrong way or anything. Well, thank you so much. I want to be very careful, because that is it's not a matter of political correctness so much as it is a matter of, that's a very tough thing. That's such a tough thing to talk on, and I don't have the right to really speak on it on a first-hand account, but I have an opinion from what I can see on the outside. So I want to convey that without trying to diminish anybody else's. Depression is a lifelong fight. And that's what I love about, like I said, yet again, my wife sadly suffers from bipolar depression, specifically diagnosed. Is it won't always feel like that to her. I understand that, but she's not alone anymore in that fight. I don't think she was, but yeah. No worries. Be offensive. It's all good, mate. It only matters to the people that don't. Well, I think people are more willing to be offended, and I do understand. It's not me trying to be politically correct. It's just, I have so many friends that suffer from that stuff, and I want to have an opinion on it. I feel like I should have an opinion on it if I feel like I can, using the knowledge that I have. But at the same time, I do understand that there is an instance of first-hand account that does make it a little difficult. But yeah, I appreciate that. I really do. That's the thing. I will not hide my views or opinions. I just won't. If that bothers people, I don't care. Just how I am. I love discussion, and disagreements are healthy. I completely agree with that. And that's part of the thing I really respect about you. That's one of the biggest things I respect about you. I respect a ton of opinions you've had, but I respect that. And I respect that if I have a disagreement with the opinion that you have, firstly, I wouldn't address it on a Twitter post. It's just not a good forum for it. You have a character limit, and there's no way to intelligently represent all the fine points of an argument within, however many characters, 200 characters, 300 characters, whatever. But I feel like that if I reached out to you in a conversation or forum where we could have a conversation and let you know that I disagreed and wanted to debate that, I feel like that you and I would talk about it, and then, you would be upfront with, and at the very end, if you disagree, yeah, that's cool, Yeah, I'd rather offend people and know where we stand than live a life in hiding. That's exhausting. That's true. That's true. And there's some things that and I want to be very clear. There are things that I absolutely have very bold opinions on, and I have data to back those opinions up. And I'm happy to have those disagreements. And there's some of those things too where I don't feel that I need to have to be the thing that I'm debating against. I don't have to be that, because I can't be all of that. Nobody can. So I have those opinions. But when it comes to depression, it's such the only reason I do that is, and I'm so careful with it, is because I see very much how that impacts people, and I do understand that that can't be helped. I'm a little bit less reserved when it comes to things that I really don't discuss on this channel, and probably will never discuss anywhere near this channel, but like politics and religion and the traditional controversial opinions. I'm very opinionated about those. I have data and I have opinions, but this isn't the forum for it. Firstly, this is a forum to forget all of those things and have fun. But when it comes to the actual debates, I'm happy to have those debates. But when it comes to depression, it's just such a tough thing for me because I just don't have enough knowledge to do it. I need to learn, and that's I don't want to speak out of a place of ignorance, literal ignorance. I wouldn't say ignorance, of where I'm lacking education. I don't ignore. I wouldn't ignore, but I don't know enough. I don't have enough knowledge. I need to learn. Agreed. Twitter's not a good place for actual discussion. Yeah, I that's my thing.
A good teach if you can't look at the besides.
So yeah, I know that got a little bit kind of solemn there, but yeah, that's my thing. It's the thing that I made mention of with my grandfather. I think it's a very wise analogy, and I think it's a great thing. I also understand completely that it's easier said than done. But it's not just applicable to depression, it's applicable to anything. There are just things that I do that if they stop becoming fun, I stop doing the thing, either the thing altogether or the thing that makes it fun. The thing that makes it not fun. I did that with Banjo-Tooie. I love Banjo-Tooie, but that game was frustrating me, which was making it not fun to play. So rather than play it all in one fell swoop, I gave it up for a little bit and went to a game that I know really well and wanted to play, and that is fun. I'm having fun with it. And then I'll go back to Banjo-Tooie once I'm back in the mood for it. I think that'll be fun. And my apologies for anybody who, by the way, was interested or was enjoying the Banjo-Tooie. I need something out of this, but I don't remember what it is. The droid's head. That's what we needed. And it blows up and hurts me. Okay. I think the quick to anger when disagreeing is fostered by arrogance and an unwillingness to be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. If I was right all the time, life would be boring. That's true. Well, I had a conversation too, and Viddy might have been on that too. I think you were a part of it on one of the early streams I had done. We were talking about some funny things like flat Earth and such. But I was enjoying Banjo-Tooie. I expect it back in the 2 weeks or else unsubbed. Well, if I'm done with this one in 2 weeks, I'll happily jump back on AR, but I can't help everybody, man. No, I know you mess with me. I was getting frustrated, and when I was getting frustrated, I realized it wasn't fun. So but yeah, no, to your statement, which I think is a great statement. To be willing to be wrong is, in my opinion, by the way, and this could be completely wrong. The more times you're willing to be wrong, the more likely it is you're going to be right more frequently. It plays into an effect called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Did they just kill both of my party? Oh my goodness! Ah, goodness. I was paying attention to just my life bar, and I needed to manage the party. Jolie's not upgraded, so. Yeah, the more times that you're willing to be wrong, the more likely it is that in future instances you'll be right, because you learn through being wrong. You can only be wrong so many times before you get the right answer. I'll admit when I'm wrong, I just never am. Yeah, it's not my fault that everybody else has the wrong opinions. No, I'm just teasing. No, yeah, and that's great. I mean, and that's the thing too. Like a lot of the other thing about it too is realizing that not every conversation is right and wrong. There is a lot of subjectivity. Like that's another thing. Like everybody looks for black and white in a world of gray, and it's such a crazy thing to do. It's. I don't need to kill them. I'm supposed to get talk glands, but I don't need those. I pick some up in that other thing. That piece. But yeah, people are always looking for black and white in a world of gray, and it's there are definitely things in life that I feel like are black and white, but I think morality is subjective. I know that's a weird statement, and that's a very controversial topic, but so I won't necessarily dwell on it. But like, it's not always easy. Like when you're having a conversation about how somebody feels, it's very, very difficult for a person to have perfect understanding of their own feelings. It's equally, and if not substantially more difficult for an outsider to have an opinion on how somebody feels. So it's just like, you know, and a lot of conversations are based strictly on feeling. There's not a lot of data, you know. Even with games, I feel like this game is a great game and should get a 10. Somebody else feels like that this game is awful and should get a 4. My brother hates this game. I love this game. He's not wrong. He hates it. He doesn't like it. He thinks it, now he's making an objective thing that's a bad game. Well, to him it is. To me, I love it. It's my favorite game of all time. Yeah, opinions aren't really a right or wrong kind of thing. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's not our business to change that or to even know it. That's true. That's very true. That's a great way to look at it too. I think it's not, well, and that's the thing too. When somebody's sharing an opinion with you, it's not always an opening for a debate. A lot of times it's a window into who that person is. Oh shoot. I almost did it again. Okay, now he's still frail, but less so. Let's see. Can I buff him up a little bit? Let's give him some melee shields. He'll never use them, I bet, but we'll try it anyway. We'll give him that. Okay, that'll be fine. Bastil, I need you to really, really quickly, if you can, I need you to use a life support pack. This will be under the L's. This will take a minute. There it is. Oh, good. Okay, you get to use 1 in the menu. You can't use 2 in the menu. You use 1 in the menu. There we go. I always forget that you can do that. Yeah, an opinion isn't... That's another thing, though. A lot of people believe opinion, a difference of opinion, in fact, but an opinion in general is an invitation for debate. It's not. An opinion is a... an indication of what type of a person that the person that gave the opinion was. All right, not good or bad, but like, if I say that this is my favorite game, then you know a little bit more about me, even if you don't like this game. It's not necessarily open for debate. You just know a little bit more about me. You know about my personality. You may be able to draw some assumptions, like I probably like Star Wars or have a bias towards Star Wars, or I may like RPGs, or I may like turn-based games, right? All those things are based off of the strict opinion that I've shared that this is the best game ever. So you can make some safe assumptions or some decent assumptions based on that. I need to figure... I can't remember where that freaking... there's a big old purple... I think it may actually be over by where those Zerka guys were. I thought it was... I almost could have sworn it was around the house, his house, but it's apparently not, so... Yeah, it's not. So I guess it's over here. Yeah, past the hunting ground. That's fine. I know where that is. Still watching, Meatbag. Thank you so much, Zombie. I know we're talking about some decently heavy stuff here, but I really appreciate you for hanging in there and watching all this with me. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the conversations, but I do know the topics are a little bit heavier than they have been. So my apologies if that's been any kind of a downer. But I'm super appreciative that you're still watching. I hope it's not a downturn on this, but Tatooine is typically my 3rd planet. Hope that's not bad. So, and you know why I'm saying that, Zombie. You've definitely you know exactly why I'm saying that. Let's see. Oh, 1 second. I'm gonna. Think that trick. Did I do a trick? Okay, cool. I sent it. There we go. When I worked in game development, I was called a racist because I said I dislike seafood, especially sushi. Stuff was so frustrating. Yeah, a lot of people are Sorry about that. That's the thing. That's like, you know something. No, when it is frustrating. I've been called a lot of really awful things that have nothing to do with what I like and don't like. It's just because I am observably who I am. Not with it. I've been called some really awful things because I've walked into just because I exist as I exist. I should say. I don't have to say a word, and I've been called some awful things just because I look like I look. And yeah, there it is. And it's a lot of people are more willing to assume that there's some deeper problem and try to diagnose you for that deeper problem with that deeper problem than they are just to listen to the statement and take it at face value. Not liking sushi means you don't like sushi. It doesn't mean you don't like anything else apart from the sushi, but people are always... Not all people, too. There's a lot of great people.
There are others.
But,
you aren't going to ask about... All right, then.
There we go.
There are a few surprises.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, you don't like sushi is, that just means you don't like sushi. I love sushi. So, and this would be the instance where we have a disagreement, right? I think sushi's fantastic. But that's fine. Like, that's perfectly okay. We're different people. We should be different people, and we should express ourselves in the ways that different people express themselves. So, Mandalorian helmets back then looked like they were so impractical. They've got like these big flaps on the back, but then they've got metal on those flaps, but at the same, like, I don't know how it all holds together. Also, the visors are remarkably vision impairing. Like, your peripheral vision is gone. Peripheral vision, excuse me. I mispronounced that. But yeah, it seems like everybody always wants to have some deeper meaning to cursory statements, which I think is silly. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't need to delve deeper meaning. If you tell me you don't like sushi, you don't like sushi. I don't even have to assume you have a fish allergy. Like that, I don't even need to do that. There's no deeper meaning than you just don't like it. Knock it off, Mandalorians. Did she cast Hill, or did she put some sort of other thing on? I don't know. I can't remember why the Mandalorians were down here. I remember oh wait, I think I do actually. Oh, and there's a dead Wookiee. God, I know I'm supposed to be a Darksider, but I freaking hate seeing the dead Wookiees. Such a sad thing. All right, I can't say the name. It's Gorwar. I can't do it. I was also called a racist because I said I preferred vanilla ice cream to chocolate ice cream. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just vanilla ice cream is my favorite flavor of ice cream. I don't particularly... I agree with you, this one. I don't particularly like chocolate. It has nothing to do with any other thing. It has nothing to do with any other thing in my life except for my preference in ice cream.
We should guard and...
Okay, I got dark side points for that. Did I get infinite dark side points for that, or? No, I don't. Okay. If I heal him, I'll get light side points. I want to heal him, but I can't. I'm not supposed to. I finished Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, got the platinum. Great game, incredible. I really, really want to play Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I saw so many people saying it was good. The Ratchet and Clank, even just the kind of the first one they put out on the PS4, was it a remaster? But any which way, that was fun. I really like Ratchet and Clank. Here's the thing, I'm on the fence about this. I love and I hate when they do remastered trilogies or games. But man, it's absolutely insane how many of them people will put out with just minimal upscaling. Like, I got the Mafia trilogy because they did a great job with Mafia 1. They from the ground up, they redid that game. Mafia 2 kind of slapped in there, Mafia 3. They just kind of put that there. No real upscaling, just kind of put it in there. So. Viperkin, I'm immune to poison. Wait a minute. Does I can't put an anti-poison mask on one? Nope. You guys are screwed. You got a PS5? Good. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm talking to AR. Sorry. Yeah. I do not. Come on. Come on, you son of a gun. You knock it off. Rest as I fled to California to get away from that stuff, but it seems to followed me to New England. Yeah, well, I mean, interestingly enough, when people get bored, in my experience, when people get bored, it's people have gotten bored rather in this environment. It's gotten easier for people to. Oh, they went this way. It's gotten easier for people to entertain themselves by pointing fingers at other people. It is a remarkably useless trait, and I don't know why people do it. I realize that in calling that out, I'm technically pointing a finger generally at general humanity, but I don't mean everybody. Honestly, I think most people that I interact with have been fantastic. I've just seen a lot of people that I don't interact with doing that. So. Apparently there's a rumor that Naughty Dog is remaking The Last of Us 1, which is crazy to me. It came out in 2013. I'd love to see a graphical upscale of that game. That game, in my opinion, I love the story. I love the environment. I mean, The Last of Us 2, like I said, not a bad game from a technical perspective. I just had I had a couple of issues with it from a story perspective. A lot of issues, really, from a story perspective. But from a technical perspective, it's fine. It's a great game. It just, there's a lot of story I felt that was put in there for no reason. I feel like those resources could be used on other games. Yeah, and I think... the beast comes when summoned if you are generous. It comes to battle if you are worthy and wise. It grants you glory if you are fearsome and brave. Feed the beast and it'll heed your call. We have to, and I believe it's a torrent attack. I hate, but it has a blade lodged in its side that I need. The thing that gets to me on social media is the lack of respect. I feel like people are so comfortable now being behind a computer saying whatever they want without repercussion. It's nuts. I think we've all had issues with the propaganda. Well, and it's... I don't want to say propaganda. I mean, I'm not saying that that's necessarily the wrong way to feel about it, but it's... I don't like the idea of agendizing... yeah, it is a torrent attack. Gosh dang it. I don't like the idea of... And I'm not meaning this in a rude way, but I don't like the idea of agendizing something that's meant to be frivolous. The entire reason that we play games for a time is to very temporarily get out of real-life problems and real-life issues. That's why we have fun with it. So when you start bringing actual, real-life issues and problems into forums where people are using it to get away from it, certainly painful. It's okay. I'm going to take that blade because I need it. Because I'm going to be the ruler of this planet. Did I get it? Wait. No, there it is. Nope, never mind. Did I get it? Did he just disappear? Well, son of a gun. Anyway, back to positive thoughts. Well, and I'm not necessarily saying that it's necessarily negative, but I agree with you completely. People are much more comfortable. It's almost like Thermopylae, right? Everybody fancies themselves one of the 300 Spartans and never one of the 1 million Persians. Everyone fancies themselves this revolutionary who's brave and willing to go out there and point out the evil, and no one realizes that they're one of a whole bunch of people hiding behind shields and ready to fight an enemy that they really shouldn't have been messing with. But that's okay. I mean, and that's the difference between us isn't who's stronger. The difference between those people and people that don't do that isn't who's stronger. It's people that are willing. It's more people that are willing to understand and accept that that's the case, and say, look, I really don't need to do this. This is not a fight that really is worthwhile. Son of a gun, I hate fighting. I mean, I got not potions, antidote packs, but my goodness. I have no dog in that race because I have no strong opinions either way about the issues, and I saw agendas being pushed through the game's writing, which I consider propaganda. You must feel X way. Yeah. I respect that. I respect that way of doing it. Yet again, as far as having opinions when it comes... Oh, here's Frere.
He's almost feral after all this time. Well, this...
It's not going to prove that difficult. Oh, he threw a plasma grenade right off the bat. Well, okay. Then a cryoban grenade. No, that makes sense in that terms, the propaganda. I understand.
Did we come this far? I know he did, but not without reason.
Let's see. Okay. So in this case, Chundar, the guy that was running the thing, this is the dad of the Wookiee that I brought and the Wookiee that's leading this planet right now. He's the rightful leader of the planet, but because he was forcefully exiled down here and the brother took over, the evil brother, Chundar, the Zalbar was exiled and we just happened to cross paths on Terrace. So, just as a kind of quick catch-up. That's really all that's really... all this dialogue, that's all that's happened. Yeah, it doesn't work that way in the real world. You just wouldn't walk up to me or anyone and say things you would behind the screen because it doesn't end well. It's made people too comfortable. I agree. More dots, more dots. I agree with that. No, I was saying on the propaganda thing, I understand that too. I mean, yet again, I have opinions on the real-life politics of it. It's just not the arena where I wanted to discuss real-life politics. Or think about them. Right? There are, if you want to do that and you want to make it somewhat fun, if you're trying to teach somebody a political thing, there are ways to do that. X-Men and Marvel and all that, that's a great way to do it because it takes something that's a real life thing but turns it into something fictitious, and then as an adult you can glean, as a teenager and adult you can glean the real life meaning, and as a kid you can enjoy the comic, and the stories are not, similar to what we're seeing in the real world, but the message is. There are ways, and I'm talking old Marvel, new Marvel's very different. But there are ways to do that. But when you start pushing it into the face of people and saying this is your problem now, this is I don't like that. I don't remember where the oh, here it is. I'm probably going to kill Chundar. I don't like him. But I could do it with Dark Side. Am I going to light side points for that? I didn't. I did good. I stayed neutral in that case. Light side points take away from dark side points. Staying neutral just means I didn't go up or down. So I'm okay with that. So much respect for the fact that you actually discuss some of these things, by the way. I know the stream is focused on fun, and rightfully so, but I do appreciate you not avoiding the comments like some do. Well, I appreciate that, and I'm happy to have earned at least some respect in your eyes for that. I do think I think there's a fine line. I mean, I think there's a fine line between discussing things that are inappropriate and completely destroying the mood of the channel and the intention of the channel, and offering genuine answer and genuine response to people that come in the chat. I mean, the first thing I said in this case was that you guys came, that this channel is a room. It's not about me, it's us. And if you guys have topics that you've brought up, I'd love to be able to offer opinion as you have. I think that's a great thing. I think that's a great arena. Speaking the specifics of politics is a little bit more difficult and a little different, and it's not a great forum for it. Podcast would be a great forum, I think. And I think that's fine too. I would love to have a podcast where that happened, but this was built years ago for just fun and talk. I gotta remember where in the heck I'm going. So one second, let me grab this and I'll take a quick peek at the. Oh, I gotta go all the way around. Gosh dang it. Okay. But I like the idea. I like the idea of. I mean, I'm not bashful about having an opinion. I will be careful about how I word it for people that watch this in the future, who may not have the same context as the direct conversation that we're having, or may not be paying attention to the context of it, because their investment will be different than yours and mine were at this very moment in time. So I'll be a little bit careful so as to, if I'm making a first impression for someone, for that first impression not to be, with their level of investment having changed and been different from ours, a bad one. But that having been said, I do feel like it's important that I at least respond to those. But I really appreciate that. That does mean a lot to me. I don't expect anyone to provide me with respect inherently, so to hear that I've earned it is a great privilege. And so I'm very much appreciative that you shared that with me. Rez says, that's why I prefer the Orville over whatever's come of new Star Trek. The Orville presented more discussions and never said this is the correct outcome. Meanwhile, Discovery Picard didn't. I haven't really watched any of them. I know about the Orville. I know it's a Seth MacFarlane project, and Seth MacFarlane, in my opinions, while I don't agree with some of his, because he does get a little bit political, and I don't agree with some of his politics, and some of it I do very much. He's very much he's an intelligent individual and one that I respect to put some of the issues out there, and so I can understand why that's the case. I do feel like that more of the mainstream, and I say mainstream meaning more of the more popular titles that are backed by more popular companies, I feel like a lot of them are much more. I feel like I don't know what that beeping sound was, so my apologies if that hurt anybody's ear. I don't know where that came from. If you guys didn't hear it, then fantastic, but it was kind of unpleasant. But a lot of them are trying to be more, and yet again, I'm saying this without necessarily negative connotation, but more about that I feel like that there's something being lost in it. And it's more about appeasing the masses than it is about telling a fun story. I don't think everybody should walk away from a movie feeling good. I feel like everybody should walk away from a movie feeling like that they were told a story, good, bad, or indifferent. But I mean, you're not going to like every book you read. It's just going to happen. But that, if you are worried that you're not going to like every book you read, and that becomes a problem, stop reading books.
Sure.
Or start understanding what you're looking for and what kind of books are have what you're looking for. I've only ever watched a few episodes of Star Trek. One with Patrick Stewart. I liked it though. I liked early Star Trek. I used to watch the Next Generation in the 90s. I liked it. I wasn't a gigantic fan or anything, but I was a big enough fan to enjoy the episodes. I was a huge Trekker fan back in the day. Love that stuff. New Trek, not a fan at all. Haven't seen any new Trek. I've heard some good stuff about some of it, but I haven't seen any. My ears are now bleeding. Thanks a lot. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. I think it was one of the I think it's some of the emulation from the game, this old game running on an Xbox, newer Xbox One. I'm not actually running this one on the Series X. Series X is in the living room, so this is all running off of the Retro Room equipment, which is an Xbox One X. I think some of that emulation has issue. So I think it beeps sometimes, but that's the first time I've heard it do that, so. While I agree, Retro, I don't think it's that it's to the masses. I think it's a small minority that for some people come across as much more vocal than important than it actually is. I agree, though. No, you're exactly right. I misspoke. You're exactly right. I do agree with that. It is a much more vocal minority. You're right about that. But it's that being vocal. The other part of it is that the people, there are people like ourselves that are either opinionated and considered controversial, and I'm not saying that our opinions are legitimately controversial, but we're labeled as controversial because we disagree with that vocal opinion. Or there are the people out there that are opined like us, but they don't want to speak, whether that be from, being forced into it, or whether that be from just not wanting to waste their time, which I respect that opinion, of course. Or if they, even if they're not, if they feel like they're being forced, I respect that too. But this is much easier as a dark sider than a light sider, because if you do a light sider, you kind of do like a boss rush, not boss rush, but like waves of enemies. Since we're dark siders, we're gonna get all the answers right anyway.
Good luck getting it operational.
Primary neural recognition complete.
Match found. What the? It always muttered something about rejected patterns.
It's because I have a special helmet.
Error. Subject displays unfamiliarity to environment. Behavioral. I am sorry. I did not mean to confuse.
Okay. I don't need that. I just need star map.
Accessing. Yes.
Error. Okay, I just need you to. Let's do this.
I have been programmed with a I can't say.
I can't say, and he's gonna say I can't say one more time.
I can't say.
Okay. That's not the language you're supposed to use either. Your alien species does not speak Galactic Basic. You speak Rakata.
Corruption has resulted in. It could be theorized.
Let's see.
Error.
Let's do the. I need you to do the reconfiguration.
Accessing. Your request requires.
Okay, let me see really quickly. My apologies, I'm going to take just a second from the chat so that I can make sure I get these questions right, or otherwise it's going to be a nightmare. So just 1 second, and I'll be right back to the chat. My apologies.
Then you are not worthy. Information.
Hey.
Evaluation commencing. Result will. You travel with a Wookiee and have encountered complications. Hypothetical. You and this. If you both remain silent, 1 year in prison for each of you. However, call Zalbar a traitor, and he is offered the same deal. But if you both accuse the other, you both serve 2.
Let's see. So if I accuse him and he doesn't accuse me, he serves 5, I serve none. If he accuses me and I accuse him, I serve 2, he serves 2. If he accuses me, the other thing falls. So I would have to accuse him. I mean, Nice would say I trust him, but logic would say I accuse him because I'll either serve 0 or 2 years versus 1 or 5.
The temperament of a companion is unreliable at
Yep.
best. You wisely trade the threat of 1 year or 5 for none or 2.
This machine certainly seems to want a very specific.
In this instance, the Wookiee is unreliable. You display the proper behavior to
Okay.
Hypothetical. You are at war. Decipher a single spot in their defense will be at its weakest in 10 days, and they will attack one of your cities in 5 days. What do you do with this information? What is the most efficient?
Most efficient. Okay, that's a different thing. I subtly reinforce the city while preparing to attack. I mean, that's not the answer it's looking for. It's looking for this. It's looking for I prepare the forces to attack in 10 days. If we had all of our resources in the city put into the attack front, we could abandon the city, and we could attack. We could let them attack the city in 5 days with no people, and then I could attack in 10.
Very good. If you had moved to evacuate the city, you would have alerted the enemy to their
That's
loss.
not true.
Ultimate
You can
victory
evacuate a
requires
city
the
very quietly. Ultimate victory required. Okay, so no. No.
Very good.
Okay, that's
reason.
fine.
Hypothetical. Remove the ongoing war from the previous example. Consider enemy states that with no external threat, your empire stagnates. Your people become complacent, and same scenario
okay.
as before. You discover an impending attack, but also a weakness that will come after.
I guess I'm going to assume that the answer is, because it says I do nothing, they attack their weak spot later to save more lives. I'm going to assume the answer is I let the attack happen, because then people will rally behind me through the common enemy.
Of course you do. It makes the most strategic sense. Your people will rally.
I haven't done a dark side playthrough on this, so this is my actual figuring this out. I usually am a light side guy when I go through it. It just feels bad to be mean sometimes.
I recognize you and will fulfill my.
Alright.
Yes, this unit has now activated.
Okay, cool. Sorry about the quiet there. I had to be quiet for just a second while I made sure I focused on all of that to get the answers. Because I do it light side, so I usually have to just give an answer and then fight enemies. But the fighting enemies is really rough. So that worked out.
Well, I wonder if this is an interesting theory.
All right, we're gonna look at the star map. Cool. All right, I'm gonna catch on to this. And I do think my wife just gave me a message a little bit ago, so I'm going to probably go back to the surface, and I'm going to call it there, but I want to address all of these comments first, if that's all right. Let's see. Also, a big problem with a big problem with just people in general is that people are more likely to voice their opinion on something negative than something positive. It sucks, but it's true. Yeah, there was a meme I saw about that the other day, and I think it's a funny meme. I'm not a big meme person, but I liked it. It was more of a comic strip, in fact, and it was just a guy in a stadium watching performers, artists and the like, on the stage in the center, and his buddy and he are up in the rafters basically, and the artist's there. He's like, "Oh, I love that guy's work," and his buddy's like, "Well, you should yell. You should tell him you're here." He's like, "Nah, it's no need for that. I don't want to embarrass him." And then the next comment was something to the effect of, "Oh, but I hate that guy's work." And then without any provocation, he was willing to tell the guy, "Boo, you suck. Give up the hobby. Give up everything." But that's also how we gravitate towards that outside of conversation, right? We gravitate towards that when we were sick. We're much more, and I'm not trying to be rude when I say this, but I'm being a little bit stereotypical. But think of elderly people. A lot of elderly people, at least where I am, would much rather talk about the surgeries and the ailments that they have and the things that they've got ongoing, versus that they had a great day with their kid or grandkid that day. Some of them talk about both. But I guarantee in my case where I am, I hear a lot more of them talk about the surgery they have to go in for, the surgery, the problem that they have or they were diagnosed with, instead of, "Oh, I spent a wonderful day with my grandkid." And I hope that I don't do that. I hope if I get to be older and that should happen and I should have to have surgeries and back surgeries and stuff, I don't want to talk about them. I want to talk about the stuff that I did that was fun that day. I went and had a surgery. If I'm walking a little slow, I'll tell somebody, "Hey, I'm sorry I'm walking a little slow. I just got out of surgery. Don't want to get any more detail." But yeah, no, anyway, yesterday I had a great, had my grandkid had this awesome or whatever the thing is. I want to be that way. And I want my daughter to know that. I mean, my daughter's a sweetheart. I want her to be that way too. I want her to talk about the good thing. Let's see. I walked away from modern media. I don't have TV, cable, or any streaming service. I just have YouTube now. I'm also kicking off a crowdfunding campaign for a comic book series I'm self-publishing. I would love to see the Kickstarter link, if you don't mind. I mean, I think you may have me on Twitter. If not, please let me know how I could get. I'd love to see if I can help. I don't know that I could do much, but I'd love to see if I could help. I'd love to look into that. People are much more likely to say they hated a movie on social media than they loved it. That's true. That's very true. That sounds cool. That's super cool. I have a lot of older movies. Modern ones just seem full of things I dislike. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people are worried about the backlash that they'll get these days from, like you said, a vocal minority, like AR made mention of. And so because of that, movies are kind of diminishing in terms of quality and more about they're more about becoming banners and flags for, causes, rather than being the figurehead and spearhead of entertainment. There's some great movies nowadays, man. Keep searching. They're there. You can't beat the classics, though. I don't disagree with that either. I do think that there are some pretty fun movies, but at the same time, it's like, some of the I think when it comes to mind, Mortal Kombat 2021 versus Mortal Kombat, 90, what is it, 5 or 4? I can't remember what year it came out. 95, I think. Like, it's campy, but man, and movies like The Godfather and Goodfellas, which I know that gravitates towards kind of a niche, but man, do I like those movies. Let's see. Oh, Arcus Unofficial says, "Howdy." Oh, sorry, Arcus Unofficial. I'm so sorry. I was playing the game and I missed your comment, but hello there. Arcus Unofficial. That's really cool. So like the speedrunner. Which I like Arcus. He's pretty cool. So that's really cool to see. It's really cool to see that. But hello there. I'm sorry. I was had a quiet moment there and had to kind of step away from chat for a second. Force field on. So I'm going back the wrong. Basket up. Okay. So BRB got to post a video to a Steam forum about issues I'm having with the game. Gonna take okay back. Okay, cool. Sorry, I was getting caught up, so I that was my fault there. Did I pick up everything on the corpse? No, I did not. That's good stuff. Cool. But yeah, I look at stuff like that. I've been looking at a lot of stuff like that. You know, you get your, like I said, you get your, Goodfellas. You get your, your Godfather. You get your Scarface. I like mafia movies too. You just don't get to see a lot of those anymore. A lot, not mafia movies, but just really good like those kinds of movies. Oh, that's fine. Did we just step on a poison mine? We stepped on a poison mine. My goodness. Nope, somebody's throwing poison grenades. That's what's happening. Ah, Jerkstar. Yeah, I didn't actually, believe it or not, I didn't actually name him. This came from there's a random button. You can just go through, and I hit it a bunch of times, and Jerkstar was what came up, and I thought, well, I'm going to be a Darksider? That fits. So, these Wookiees don't like us because the leader that sent us down here to kill the dad, we didn't kill the dad. We said no. He's not happy. So he sent Wookiee guards because the dad's climbing the vines up. He didn't get to take the elevator, so he's climbing up. And so in our case, we are... That makes it even funnier. I thought so too. I liked how it worked out. Alright, well, I watched the Wookiee do it, so I can do it. Cool. Just because I understand it doesn't mean I have Wookiee strength, though. Let's just be completely fair. But yeah, I kind of agree with you on the movie thing. There's probably some great movies. I love movie recommendations, but I'm kind of watching somewhat older ones now. Too. I'm actually watching the James Bond movies, which aren't super old, but I'm watching those right now. I love old James Bond, but I had never seen Daniel Craig James Bond movies, and my wife said, let's watch them, and I love them. So they're really good. I liked I liked Pierce Brosnan. I mean, I love Sean Connery and Roger Moore and all them, but like, yeah, Pierce Brosnan was my favorite. Okay, I think so. I'm gonna go back up to the, like I said, I'm gonna go back up to the village right before we get into the big thick of it, and I think I'm gonna call that a stream here. We got through effectively 2 planets. Well, 1.5. Oh, dang it, he's going to take me there automatically. Pierce was the GoldenEye era. Yep, exactly. Arcus Unofficial says GL. Is that... good luck? Is that what that is? I'm sorry. I'm assuming so. I'm not great on the shorthand, so and that's my own fault, so... Yeah, GoldenEye was great, and I love the James Bond games too. I actually do own I think I own all the James Bond games for the past probably 20 or so years. They're just they're good games. Well, most of them are. Quantum of Solace game was kind of stereotypical, but
Wait.
so the reason that we're fighting this because Zalbar chose. I don't get any dark side points or light side points that way. Gosh dang it. This is not a cryoban grenade. What grenade is this? I can't remember. Can't remember. Is he was allowing his people to be enslaved by the Zerka guards, so that's why he's the bad guy. But if I chose to fight against him as the good guy, then I would get light side points, which is something I don't want in this particular playthrough, is if I can help it. But take that med pack. There you go. This actually can be a pretty messy fight, but I do have 4 people in this fight rather than 3, my normal 3. I'm just killing blow. You got Zerka guards, and We're lucky. They're not the big, tall, hairy, and strong. They're the small, squishy, and I'm chopping at them. Oh yeah, but no. Anyway, I love the James Bond games. I love GoldenEye. I'm not very good at. Thumb. At some point when he's got time, he's super busy, so I understand. But at some point when he's got time, he's going to help me kind of go through a part where I'm kind of stuck. I haven't played it in so long, and I can't, and I'm not doing real good. That's fine. I'm restated. What do I get though? I get Bacchus Blade. That's fine. I'll switch back to. You can stay on the ship, Bastila. Ah, I got light side points. Dang it! How many did I get? Not very many. I got Zalbar and I got Jolie because Jolie's my favorite. Okay. And Chandar's Bowcaster because why not? All right, and here we are inside. These are actually really nice little like wicker huts. I'd love to be in a place like this. It'd be cool. But anyway, yeah, I love those. I love the games. I like a lot of them. I want to play. I used to play the older ones, the like Nightfire and Agent Under Fire and Everything or Nothing. Well, Agent Under Fire and Nightfire I used to play with friends, so it was a lot of fun. I hope to do that again once everything kind of passes. I've got. You guys will see it when I finally post the video of the retro room, not tour, but the how I do it, kind of behind the scenes. You'll get to see all the microphones and equipment and all that good stuff I use. But I have several microphones in here for when I start having my buddies and my brother over again to visit and play some of that stuff and do some of the more fun episodes. So imagine what your place looks like. Imagine what that place looks like all decked out for Life Day. Yeah, and they're all wearing Snuggies and they're marching into a light, which isn't. I always thought that scene. I'm glad you know about that, though. I'm very glad you know about that. But I always thought that scene where they're all holding the candles and wearing the Snuggies and marching into the light, it just looks like they're. I mean, you're like, you know that light killed them. Like, don't do that. That's the opposite of Life Day. Don't go into the light. But I'm glad you know that. And that's still canon, by the way. They kept the holiday special as canon. I watch the holiday special every year, but it isn't because it's good. It's a guilty pleasure kind of thing. But anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and save the game here. We've gotten through, like I said, but essentially we've gotten through 1.5 planets. We got through the rest of Dantooine. We got through all of Kashyyyk, and we got through Yavin technically, but Yavin was really just buying stuff. I'm going to go ahead and save my game in a new slot. There's infinite save slots on this, so my original Xbox actually has 178 save games on this game, because at that time I was saving every possible path you could take in case I wanted to change my mind. So there's there's probably way more paths than that, but there's 178 save files on there. Artisan Official says, "Happy Taco Tuesday tomorrow." Thank you very much, Artisan Official. Hey, and I really appreciate it. I know you kind of came into an unusual stream. Where we were kind of talking about something that seemed a little bit heavy. But I want to say I really appreciate you for dropping in and saying hi and watching this and interacting. I really appreciate that. It's a great honor to see people come in and speak with me and interact and watch the gameplay. So I really appreciate you for doing that. And thank you for the Happy Taco Tuesday wishes. They discarded the EU but kept the holiday special as canon. They sure did. They did keep they discarded almost all of the EU originally, kept the holiday special as canon, and then are slowly recanonizing the EU slowly. So Revan is canon now, Bane is canon, but the Darth Bane books are not canon. And Kotor is not canon. Revan is a canon character, this didn't happen. So it's really weird right now. But anyway. But like I said, I got my game saved here. Like I said, we did quite a bit. It's been a long stream. I really appreciate everybody who came in and talked with me. I know some of the topics were a little bit heavier. And a little bit more potential. I wouldn't say loaded necessarily, but a little bit more serious in tone. And I want to say I have a great amount of respect for the people that were willing to talk those topics with me. A great amount of appreciation for everyone who didn't want to, that came in and had fun. Just watching the stuff and listening to the commentary. I really appreciate all that. And of course, special thanks. I usually do this on Twitter. I don't have everybody, but special thanks to everybody who's been in here. That's Res Vergam, Arcus Unofficial, the Thumb Brothers who dropped in. AR Video Games, sorry I didn't mean to, I'm not doing it necessarily in order, so I apologize. But AR Video Games, you were awesome. Ash, you're always great. Rez, it's been awesome too with you. You've been in these last two ones, very high participation, which I appreciate a lot. I love getting to talk with you. You seem like a super intelligent person, and I'm really enjoying the conversation. So thank you so much for doing all that. Zombie, JLT, you're always fantastic, and I really appreciate you for it. And also, I love the references. We will definitely get there. Video games for fun. I know you're probably haven't just got past lunch and all that great stuff, but I appreciate it. Gaming, what is it? Retro Gaming Star 25 now. Really appreciate you for stopping in, dropping a like. Omega Ace, I know you went out to get Popeye's chicken and just, you know, I really appreciate you for having been in and commentating. Just everybody, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and get you guys some nice music, nice cityscapes, and hopefully we'll talk to you guys. If we don't talk to you on the stream, hopefully we talk to you guys very soon. But yeah, thank you so very much. Let's see if that does it. I think that's the right screen. Yeah. Enjoy your burgers. Thank you so much. It's 9:20. Ooh, it's 9:37 p.m. So we're gonna have late cookout. There's nothing wrong with that. But thank you so very much. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, night, morning, evening, whatever time it is. Rez, you said New England. So for you, you should be an hour ahead of me. 10:38. So have a good night to you. AR, you are 6 hours ahead of me. Have a great morning, and I hope you get some sleep. I'm so sorry for having kept you up for so long. But yeah, you guys have a great day. Thanks.